Ace-King is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood hands in Texas Hold'em. In this calm and detailed guide, you'll drift through every layer of strategy, from pre-flop planning to post-flop adjustments. We'll move gently through position, stack sizes, tournament dynamics, and psychological traps, showing how to unlock its true potential. By the end, you'll not only understand how to play Ace-King, but also feel at peace with the patience and discipline this hand requires. Ace-King. Two cards that inspire excitement, caution, and debate across every poker table in the world. Some players smile the moment they see them, already imagining the pots they might drag in. Others feel a twinge of nervousness, remembering the times when Big Slick, as it is often called, has let them down. It is a hand of promise and of peril, and that tension is exactly why it deserves such careful study. For many new players, Ace-King feels like an automatic winner. After all, it contains the two highest cards in the deck. How could it possibly lose? But the more experience you gain, the more you realize its complexity. Unlike pocket aces or kings, Ace-King is not a made hand. It is, in truth, a drawing hand, one that often needs the flop, turn, or river to provide its strength. In some moments, it soars, giving you the nuts straight, top pair with the best kicker, or a flush when suited. In other times, it misses entirely, leaving you with nothing more than ace high and a difficult decision to make. The purpose of this journey is not to worship Ace-King, nor to fear it. It is to understand it, to explore its strengths with clarity, and to face its weaknesses with calm honesty. And to do so, we will walk step by step through the countless situations where Ace-King appears, always with a slow, steady rhythm, as though guiding the listener into a dream. The need to study Ace-King deeply. Why devote so much time to one starting hand? Because Ace-King finds itself in the most pivotal spots again and again. It is a hand that creates some of the largest pots, the most difficult choices, and the greatest swings in poker. Knowing when to push its power and when to pull back is a skill that separates patient, disciplined players from those who let emotion carry them away. Ace-King tests everything: your grasp of position, your feel for stack sizes, your understanding of tournament dynamics, and your ability to stay composed in the face of loss. To master it is to sharpen your overall game. Every lesson you learn from Ace-King echoes outward into the rest of your strategy. In the chapters that follow, we will move through these lessons with care. But before we do, let us take a wide view, gently teasing the situations and positions we will examine, so you can see the full map of this study before we travel down its winding path. Pre-flop decisions, where the journey begins. The story of Ace-King always begins before the flop. Here, the choices set the tone for everything that follows. In early position, opening Ace-King demands respect. With so many players left to act behind you, the hand must be raised with confidence, but it also must be played with discipline against resistance. We will look closely at when to raise, how much to raise, and how to react if someone comes over the top. From middle position, the picture changes. Fewer players remain, but the threats are still real. Ace-King here can often be a strong opening hand, but its fate depends heavily on table dynamics, who is sitting behind you, and what they are likely to do. When we arrive in late position, the hand grows in power. With fewer players left to act, Ace-King becomes not only a hand of raw strength but also a weapon of position. We will study how to leverage that advantage, how to apply pressure, and how to build pots in the moments where Big Slick can shine. Of course, pre-flop is never as simple as open raising. What happens when an opponent raises first? Should we 3-bet with Ace-King? Should we 4-bet in response to aggression? Should we ever just call and see a flop? These questions are at the heart of mastering the hand, and each one deserves its own soft reflection. We will dedicate chapters to every one of these choices, from the disciplined fold to the bold 4-bet shove. And we will also take time to compare ace-king suited versus ace-king offsuit. A small detail on the surface, but in poker, small details are everything. Suited ace-king opens the door to flushes and adds a layer of post-flop playability. Offsuit ace-king, while still strong, is slightly less flexible. Understanding when these differences matter and when they do not is a quiet skill that separates careful players from careless ones. The role of stack depth. Not all ace-kings are created equal. A hand that plays beautifully with 100 big blinds can be a tricky puzzle with 20. Stack depth changes the meaning of every preflop and postflop decision. At deep stacks, ace-king must be handled with patience. It is not enough to hope for a coin flip. You must learn how to extract value when it connects, and how to control pot sizes when it does not. At medium stacks around 40 big blinds, the decisions grow sharper. 3 bets and 4 bets carry more weight. Pushing all in becomes a consideration, but so does careful post-flop play. At short stacks, ace-king transforms again. Suddenly, it is often a shove or fold hand, stripped of subtlety, but charged with raw equity. We will examine each of these depths in turn, teasing apart the nuances of Big Slick at every stage of the tournament and cash game world. Tournament versus cash game. Ace-king's meaning shifts depending on whether you play tournaments or cash games. In cash, where stacks can be deep and chips can be reloaded, the hand must be treated with long-term balance in mind. In tournaments where chips lost cannot be regained, the pressure changes everything. We will move softly through early tournament play, where ace-king often dominates ranges. We will explore the middle stages, where blinds grow heavy and every decision carries weight. We will step carefully into the bubble, where ICM pressure makes ace-king both a weapon and a liability. And we will reflect on final table play, where a single decision with ace-king can shape a career. Post-flop play, when the board arrives. No study of ace-king is complete without understanding how to play it once the flop arrives. Sometimes, ace-king connects beautifully, giving you top pair with the best kicker. Other times, it misses entirely, leaving you with high card strength and a delicate choice. We will learn how to navigate these waters, when to continuation bet, when to slow down, when to semi-bluff with draws, and when to hold steady with ace-high. We will explore the heartbreak of seeing ace-king run into a set, the discipline of controlling pot sizes, and the subtle art of bluff catching with nothing but king-high at showdown. These lessons are not just about cards, they are about patience, observation, and trust. The psychology of Big Slick. Poker is not only mathematics, it is also emotion. And ace-king carries more emotional weight than perhaps any other hand. We will explore why players tilt after losing with ace-king, and how to prevent yourself from falling into that trap. We will reflect on the pain of all-in confrontations against small pocket pairs, and the discipline required to accept variance calmly. We will speak softly about the importance of composure, of not letting one hand shape your session, and of finding peace even in the face of loss. Learning from history and myth. Along the way, we will pause to review famous hands from poker history, where ace-king lifted players to glory or sent them to the rail. We will explore the myths that surround it, like the belief that it is a guaranteed winner, or the opposite idea that it is a cursed hand best avoided. By separating fact from fiction, we will build a clearer, calmer understanding. A hand that reflects discipline, Ultimately, Ace-King is more than just two cards. It is a reflection of discipline, patience, and clarity. To play it well, you must know when to press and when to wait. You must understand the power of position, the influence of stack sizes, the shifts between cash and tournament play, and the importance of emotional balance. As we move through the coming chapters, every one of these lessons will unfold softly. We will move from early position to late, from pre-flop raises to post-flop bluffs, from the joy of winning to the peace of acceptance when we lose. Ace-King will teach us not just how to play one hand, but how to think about the game itself. And as you listen, drifting deeper into rest, you may find that the rhythm of these lessons soothes more than your poker mind. They may soothe your heart as well, reminding you that patience, clarity, and calm are not just poker skills, they are life skills too. So let us begin. Ace-King is a powerful starting hand in Texas Hold'em, yet it is crucial to understand its nature as a drawing hand, rather than a made hand. Unlike pocket pairs, which have inherent value before any community cards are revealed, Ace-King relies on the potential for improvement as the hand progresses. Ace-King is a powerful starting hand in Texas Hold'em, yet it is crucial to understand its nature as a drawing hand, rather than a made hand. Unlike pocket pairs, which have inherent value before any community cards are revealed, Ace-King relies on the potential for improvement as the hand progresses. Pocket pairs, such as pocket eights or jacks, are considered made hands because they hold a complete value on their own, even without the help of the flop, turn, or river. They have a built-in strength that can win pots without needing to improve. In contrast, Ace-King needs the board to cooperate, often looking for an ace or a king to appear among the community cards to truly realize its potential. Before the flop, Ace-King generally holds a solid equity against most unpaired hands, but it is slightly behind any pocket pair. For example, against pocket queens, Ace-King has approximately a 43% chance of winning. This percentage reflects its status as a drawing hand, as it needs to connect with the board to surpass the strength of a pair. This is why understanding the typical equity of Ace-King is vital. It helps in making informed decisions about how aggressively to play at pre-flop. While Ace-King can dominate weaker aces and other Broadway cards, it must navigate the risk of running into stronger made hands. Ace-King's strength shines on various flop textures, particularly those that include an ace or a king, which instantly elevate the hand to top pair with the best possible kicker. Flops that offer straight or flush potential can also enhance Ace-King's value, especially when suited. Even if the flop does not deliver an immediate pair, certain textures provide backdoor draws that can be leveraged in later betting rounds. Understanding these possibilities allows players to plan their actions with foresight, balancing aggression with caution. Fold equity plays a significant role in the strategy of playing Ace-King. The ability to make opponents fold stronger hands is a powerful tool, especially when combined with the drawing potential of Ace-King. By applying pressure with well-timed bets, a player can often take down pots without needing to hit the board. This fold equity is particularly effective against opponents who are likely to fold marginal hands or who are overly cautious. Recognizing when to use Ace-King's fold equity is a skill that can turn a drawing hand into a winning hand, even when the cards do not cooperate. Despite its potential, many players misplay Ace-King by treating it as if it were already a strong hand like pocket aces or kings. This misconception can lead to overcommitting chips, pre-flop, especially in situations where the hand is not favored. The allure of Ace-King's high card strength can cloud judgment, resulting in aggressive actions that are not always justified. It is essential to remember that Ace-King's true power lies in its ability to improve and its capacity to apply pressure, not in its pre-flop dominance. By approaching Ace-King with a clear understanding of its nature as a drawing hand, players can make more informed decisions. This involves recognizing when to push its potential and when to exercise restraint, ensuring that the hand is played optimally across different scenarios. Embracing the balance between aggression and patience is key to mastering Ace-King, allowing it to be a formidable part of any player's arsenal. When holding Ace-King in early position, particularly under the gun, the decision to raise should be approached with a sense of precision and understanding of table dynamics. Ace-King is a premium hand, yet it requires careful navigation due to its drawing nature. In early position, the goal is to establish a strong opening range that can withstand pressure from the players yet to act. A standard raise size of 2.5 to 3 times the big blind is often recommended. This size is sufficient to build a pot, while discouraging speculative hands from entering cheaply. It also sets the tone for the hand, projecting strength and possibly thinning the field to a more manageable number of opponents. The dynamics of the table play a crucial role in deciding how aggressively to open with Ace-King. At a passive table where players are unlikely to 3-bet without premium holdings, opening with Ace-King can be straightforward. The hand's strength is clear, and the likelihood of seeing a favorable flop without excessive resistance is higher. However, at a table with aggressive players who frequently 3-bet, the approach may need adjustment. In these situations, a tighter opening range can be beneficial. By reducing the number of hands played from early position, a player can avoid difficult post-flop scenarios where Ace-King may not have improved. Tough tables, characterized by skilled opponents who are adept at exploiting loose play, require a disciplined approach. Tightening the opening range in these environments ensures that when a player does enter the pot, they are doing so with a hand that can withstand scrutiny and aggression. Ace-King, while powerful, should not be overvalued to the point of recklessness. It is important to recognize that while Ace-King has potential, it is not invincible. Facing a 3-bet from a tight opponent may necessitate a more cautious line, such as calling to see a flop, rather than committing more chips pre-flop. The distinction between Ace-King suited and offsuit is another factor to consider when opening from early position. Ace-King suited holds a slight edge due to its added flush potential, which can be a decisive factor in both pre-flop and post-flop play. This additional equity makes Ace-King suited a more robust hand to open with, even in tougher table conditions. Conversely, Ace-King offsuit, while still strong, lacks the same post-flop versatility. It is still worthy of an open, but may require more careful post-flop play, particularly if the flop does not deliver an ace or a king. Common mistakes when opening Ace-King too loosely include failing to account for the tendencies of players yet to act. Overconfidence in the hand's strength can lead to unnecessary losses, particularly if the table is filled with players who are willing to play back aggressively. Another error is neglecting to adjust the opening strategy based on the specific opponents and their 3-betting frequencies. A one-size-fits-all approach can lead to difficulties, as Ace-King is not as dominant against tighter ranges. Recognizing when to fold to a 3-bet or when to proceed with caution is an essential skill for maintaining a healthy stack. By understanding the nuances of opening with Ace-King from early position, players can maximize its potential while minimizing risk. This involves a balance of aggression and restraint, tailored to the specific dynamics of the table. Such an approach ensures that Ace-King remains a formidable weapon in a player's arsenal, capable of winning significant pots when played with foresight and discipline. In middle position, the range of hands a player can comfortably open with begins to widen, and Ace-King finds itself as a central figure in this expanded spectrum. Unlike early position, where caution is advised due to the number of players yet to act, middle position allows for a more aggressive approach. Ace-King thrives in this environment, offering both high card strength and drawing potential. It's a hand that can dominate many holdings, making it a prime candidate for raising. When raising with ace-king from middle position, it's important to balance aggression with an acute awareness of the table dynamics. The players acting after you will have more information to work with, so understanding their tendencies is crucial. If the players in the later positions are tight and conservative, a standard raise size of 2.5 to 3 times the big blind can effectively isolate the pot, reducing the number of opponents and increasing the chances of seeing a favorable flop. On the other hand, if the players are known to be loose and call frequently, a larger raise may be necessary to discourage speculative hands from entering the pot. Stack depth also plays a significant role in determining the optimal raise size with ace-king from middle position. With deeper stacks, players have more room to maneuver post-flop, which can lead to more complex decisions if multiple opponents call. In such scenarios, raising slightly larger can help to thin the field, ensuring that you maintain control over the hand's progression. Conversely, with shorter stacks, the focus shifts towards maximizing fold equity and potentially setting up a situation where you can comfortably commit your stack if necessary. Here, a smaller raise might invite more action, but it also keeps the pot manageable, allowing for easier decision-making on later streets. Deciding when to raise larger or smaller, with ace-king, also depends on the specific opponents you're facing. Against players who are prone to folding to aggression, a larger raise can exploit their tendency to avoid confrontation. This approach capitalizes on the strength of ace-king, leveraging its potential to win the pot pre-flop without contest. However, when facing opponents who are more likely to defend their blinds or call in position, a smaller raise can be advantageous. It invites action from weaker hands, which ace-king often dominates, providing opportunities to extract value post-flop when the board is favorable. Understanding how ace-king plays against typical defending ranges is essential for successful middle position raises. Many players will defend with a wide range of hands, including suited connectors, smaller pairs, and Broadway cards. Ace-king fares well against these holdings, particularly when it connects with the flop. The key is to maintain a balanced strategy, one that allows you to capitalize on your hand's strength while minimizing risk. This involves being prepared to continuation bet on favorable boards, as well as knowing when to slow down if the flop misses entirely. By carefully considering these factors, players can effectively raise with ace-king from middle position, maximizing its potential while navigating the complexities of post-flop play. This approach not only enhances the hand's value, but also strengthens the overall strategic framework, ensuring that ace-king remains a powerful tool in any poker player's repertoire. In late position, ace-king becomes a formidable weapon, gaining significant value when played from the cutoff or button. These positions offer a strategic advantage, allowing players to act with more information about their opponent's actions. In the cutoff and button, ace-king shines due to its ability to dominate a wide range of hands and exploit positional benefits. The opportunity to observe how the action unfolds before making a decision provides a tactical edge, enhancing the hand's potential to win pots both pre-flop and post-flop. From the cutoff, ace-king is a strong candidate for open raising, as it can capitalize on the inherent fold equity associated with late position. Fold equity refers to the likelihood that opponents will fold in response to an aggressive action, such as a raise. In late position, opponents are often in the blinds and may be holding weaker hands, making them more likely to fold to a raise. By leveraging this fold equity, players can frequently take down the pot without seeing a flop, preserving their stack and avoiding unnecessary complications. When deciding on raise sizes from the cutoff or button, understanding the tendencies of the players in the blinds is crucial. If the blinds are tight and tend to fold to aggression, a standard raise size can be effective. This approach pressures the blinds to fold marginal hands, allowing ace-king to win the pot uncontested. Conversely, if the blinds are loose and inclined to defend frequently, adjusting the raise size upward may be necessary. A larger raise can discourage speculative hands from calling, reducing the number of opponents and increasing the likelihood of isolating the action. Playing ace-king from the button offers even more flexibility and control. The button position is the most advantageous in poker, as it allows players to act last on all post-flop streets. This positional advantage is particularly beneficial when ace-king misses the flop. In such situations, having position enables players to make informed decisions based on their opponent's actions. They can choose to continuation bet if the board texture is favorable, or check behind to control the pot size if the board is unfavorable. The button also provides opportunities for 3-bet bluffing with ace-king. In late position, players can exploit the perception that they are playing a wider range of hands. By 3-betting with ace-king, they can apply pressure on opponents who opened from earlier positions, forcing them to fold weaker holdings. This aggressive play can be particularly effective against opponents who are known to open with a wide range of hands from early positions, as they are more likely to fold to a strong 3-bet. When using ace-king in late position, it is important to maintain a balanced approach. While aggression can be profitable, overplaying the hand can lead to unnecessary risks. Players should be mindful of their opponent's tendencies and adjust their strategies accordingly. By carefully considering the dynamics of the table and leveraging the strengths of ace-king, players can maximize its potential and enhance their overall performance in late position. This strategic use of ace-king not only increases the chances of winning pots, but also strengthens the player's overall game, providing a solid foundation for success in a variety of poker scenarios. Facing a 3-bet with ace-king requires a calm and strategic approach. When an opponent 3-bets, it signals strength, but it is crucial to assess their tendencies and adjust accordingly. Against tight opponents, who tend to 3-bet with premium hands, calling with ace-king can be a prudent choice. This approach allows you to see a flop without committing too many chips pre-flop. It also keeps the pot manageable, especially if the opponent holds a hand like pocket aces or kings. In contrast, against loose 3-betters, who include a wider range of hands, 4-betting can be a powerful move. By applying pressure, you can often force folds from weaker holdings, exploiting their tendency to overplay marginal hands. Equity considerations play a significant role in deciding whether to call or 4-bet. Ace-king holds strong equity against a wide range of hands but performs differently against specific ranges. Against a tight range, ace-king may only have around 40% equity, making a call more appealing as it allows for post-flop play without overcommitting. However, against a loose range, ace-king can have over 50% equity, justifying a 4-bet as a value play. Understanding these dynamics helps in making informed decisions that maximize your hand's potential. Stack depth significantly influences the decision-making process when facing a 3-bet. With deep stacks, calling a 3-bet can be advantageous, as it provides room for maneuvering post-flop. The ability to play multiple streets allows for more strategic flexibility, enabling you to extract value when you hit or to bluff effectively, if the board texture is favorable. Conversely, with shorter stacks, 4-betting or folding becomes more common. The reduced stack depth limits post-flop play, making it essential to commit or conserve chips pre-flop. In these scenarios, 4-betting can serve as a semi-bluff, leveraging fold equity, while folding preserves your stack for more favorable situations. Position is another critical factor when facing a 3-bet. Being in position allows you to act with more information, giving you an edge in post-flop play. When in position, calling a 3-bet with ace-king is often preferable, as it enables you to control the pot and make informed decisions based on your opponent's actions. This advantage can lead to better post-flop outcomes, as you can choose to value bet, bluff, or check back depending on the board texture and your opponent's tendencies. Out of position, however, 4-betting becomes more attractive. By taking the initiative, you can dictate the action and potentially end the hand pre-flop, avoiding the difficulties of playing post-flop without positional advantage. After flat calling a 3-bet, planning your post-flop line is essential. If the flop brings an ace or king, you often have top pair, top kicker, and should focus on extracting value. Consider your opponent's range and tendencies to determine the best bet sizing. On dry boards, a small bet can induce calls from weaker hands, while on coordinated boards, a larger bet may be necessary to protect your hand. If the flop misses, evaluate the board texture and your opponent's likely holdings. A continuation bet from your opponent may indicate strength, but it could also be a bluff attempt. Deciding whether to continue depends on your read of the opponent and the specific dynamics of the hand. Facing a 3-bet with ace-king involves balancing aggression with caution. By considering opponent tendencies, equity, stack depth, and position, you can make decisions that optimize your chances of success. Each situation is unique, requiring a tailored approach that leverages the strengths of ace-king while minimizing its vulnerabilities. Through careful analysis and strategic foresight, you can navigate these challenging spots with confidence, enhancing your overall poker performance. In poker, the decision to 4-bet with ace-king is a nuanced one, requiring a clear understanding of value versus bluff ranges. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, sits comfortably within a value range, due to its strong pre-flop equity against many hands. When you 4-bet with ace-king, you are often doing so for value, especially against opponents who are likely to 3-bet with a range that includes weaker aces and Broadway cards. This makes ace-king a formidable hand to 4-bet with when you anticipate getting called by hands you dominate, such as ace-queen or king-queen. However, the decision to 4-bet does not always hinge on value alone. Against aggressive opponents who 3-bet frequently with a wide range, ace-king can also serve as a semi-bluff. By 4-betting, you apply pressure on these aggressive players, potentially forcing them to fold hands that have decent equity against you, such as lower pocket pairs or suited connectors. This strategic aggression can exploit their tendency to overextend pre-flop, allowing you to take control of the pot. The frequency of your 4-bets with ace-king should be adjusted based on the tendencies of your opponents. Against players who rarely 3-bet without premium hands, a 4-bet should be more value-oriented, as their calling or 5-bet shoving range is likely to be strong. In contrast, against loose and aggressive opponents, increasing your 4-bet frequency can be profitable. This approach capitalizes on their willingness to fold marginal hands, thereby increasing your fold equity and allowing you to win pots uncontested. A critical consideration when deciding to 4-bet with ace-king is the difference between suited and offsuit variance. Ace-king suited offers additional equity through potential flush draws, which can be beneficial post-flop if called. This added equity makes it a more robust candidate for 4-betting, as it can continue on a wider variety of board textures. On the other hand, ace-king offsuit lacks this post-flop flexibility, making it more vulnerable if the 4-bet is called. Therefore, folding to a 5-bet shove with ace-king offsuit is often more prudent, as the hand does not perform as well against the strongest parts of an opponent's range. When playing with a short stack, the dynamics of 4-betting with ace-king change considerably. At stack depths of around 20 big blinds or less, ace-king becomes a strong candidate for an all-in shove. This move maximizes your fold equity, while ensuring that you realize your hand's full equity when called. In these situations, the risk of being dominated by stronger hands is outweighed by the potential to double up or win the pot outright pre-flop. The decision to shove is particularly effective in tournaments, where chip accumulation is crucial for survival and advancement. Tournament pressure also influences 4-bet decisions with ace-king. As the blinds increase and the field narrows, the value of each chip becomes more significant. This pressure can lead players to tighten their ranges, making it more challenging to extract value from weaker hands. In these contexts, 4-betting with ace-king can be a powerful tool to exploit opponents who are overly cautious. By leveraging the fear of elimination, you can force folds from hands that might otherwise see a flop, thus increasing your stack without confrontation. Deciding when to 4-bet with ace-king requires a balance between aggression and caution. By carefully assessing your opponents, stack sizes, and the stage of the tournament, you can make informed decisions that optimize your chances of success. Whether using ace-king as a value hand or a bluff, understanding the subtleties of 4-bet dynamics will enhance your strategic depth and improve your overall poker performance. Flat calling with ace-king, often referred to as big slick, can lead to under-realizing its potential equity. Ace-king is a strong starting hand, but it thrives on aggression rather than passivity. When you choose to flat call, you miss the opportunity to take control of the pot pre-flop. This lack of initiative can be particularly detrimental, as it allows opponents to see a flop with a wide range of hands. The absence of a pre-flop raise means you forfeit fold equity, which is a crucial component of ace-king's strength. By not raising, you give opponents the chance to realize their equity with weaker hands that might otherwise fold to a raise. In multi-way pots, the challenges of flat calling with ace-king become even more pronounced. With more players involved, the likelihood of someone hitting a strong hand on the flop increases. This scenario dilutes the equity of ace-king, making it harder to navigate post-flop. The more players in the hand, the less likely ace-king is to hold up as the best hand by the river. In these situations, the hand's value diminishes, as it must compete against a wider array of potential holdings. The presence of multiple opponents also complicates decision-making, as it becomes challenging to gauge the strength of their hands and adjust your strategy accordingly. There are specific scenarios where calling with ace-king is inferior to raising or folding. For instance, when facing a raise from a tight player, flat calling can be precarious. This is because their range is likely strong, often consisting of premium pairs or high cards that dominate ace-king. In such cases, calling sets you up for difficult post-flop decisions, particularly on boards where an ace or king does not appear. Without the initiative, you may find yourself in a position where you are forced to fold to aggression, unable to capitalize on your hand's potential. One of the primary problems with flat calling ace-king is the risk of being dominated. When you call instead of raising, you fail to define your opponent's range. This can lead to situations where you are up against hands like pocket aces or kings, which have you dominated. In these cases, even if you hit top pair on the flop, you are at risk of losing a significant portion of your stack. By raising pre-flop, you can often force these stronger hands to reveal themselves, allowing you to make more informed decisions. The concept of implied odds is also critical when considering flat calling with ace-king. Implied odds refer to the potential future winnings you can achieve if you hit a strong hand. Compared to pocket pairs or suited connectors, ace-king has limited implied odds. Pairs have the potential to improve to sets, and suited connectors can hit straights or flushes, which are well concealed and can win large pots. Ace-king, however, primarily relies on hitting top pair, which is more visible and less likely to extract maximum value from opponents. This limitation means that flat calling can lead to situations where you win small pots but lose large ones, a dynamic that can negatively impact your overall win rate. Understanding the dangers of flat calling with ace-king is essential for maximizing its potential. By recognizing when to apply pressure through raising, you can harness the full power of this formidable hand. This approach not only increases your chances of winning pots uncontested, but also positions you to extract value when you connect with the board. Emphasizing aggression over passivity allows you to dictate the pace of play, making ace-king a more profitable hand in the long run. Ace-king, often dubbed Big Slick, is a powerful starting hand in Texas Hold'em, but its strength can vary significantly, depending on whether it is suited or offsuit. The distinction between suited and offsuit. Ace-king is not just a matter of preference. It involves a tangible difference in equity. Suited ace-king holds a slight edge over its offsuit counterpart, due to its potential to form flushes. This additional equity becomes particularly relevant in scenarios where flush draws or backdoor flush draws can be leveraged to exert pressure on opponents or to complete a strong hand. The allure of suited ace-king lies in its ability to hit flushes, which are among the most powerful hands in poker. This potential significantly enhances the hand's value on certain board textures. For instance, when the flop presents two cards of the same suit as the ace-king in your hand, the prospect of completing a flush by the river provides both a direct path to a strong hand and an opportunity for semi-bluffing. Even if the flush doesn't come to fruition, the threat of it can cause opponents to fold better hands, capitalizing on fold equity. The presence of backdoor flush potential further adds to the hand's versatility, allowing for continued aggression on the turn and river if additional suited cards appear. Board textures play a critical role in determining how suited ace-king performs post-flop. On wet boards, where there are multiple draws possible, suited ace-king can continue with aggression, knowing that it has numerous outs to improve. Conversely, on dry boards, where the possibility of straights and flushes is limited, the hand might need to rely more on its high card strength. The ability to adapt to these varying textures is part of what makes suited ace-king a formidable hand in skilled hands. Offsuit ace-king, while still strong, lacks the flush potential that can offer additional avenues for aggression and deception. In deep stack play, this limitation becomes more pronounced. Without the backup of a flush draw, offsuit ace-king must rely on hitting top pair with a strong kicker, or on its ability to win pots through sheer aggression. This can be challenging in deep stack situations, where opponents have the implied odds to call pre-flop raises with speculative hands, potentially hitting concealed monsters on the flop. The lack of flush potential means that offsuit ace-king must navigate post-flop play more cautiously, often requiring tighter control of pot size and more precise reads on opponents. The strategic approach to playing ace-king, whether suited or offsuit, also differs between tournaments and cash games. In cash games, where stack sizes are often deeper and the focus is on maximizing expected value over the long term, the suited variant's additional equity can be more effectively leveraged. The ability to build large pots with flush draws, or to bluff credibly on multiple streets enhances its value. In contrast, offsuit ace-king may need to be played more conservatively, focusing on extracting value when it hits top pair, or utilizing position to control the pot. In tournaments, the dynamics shift due to the pressure of rising blinds and the importance of chip preservation. Suited ace-king can be a powerful tool in accumulating chips, especially when short or medium stacked, as its ability to make nut flushes provides a strong draw to justify aggressive play. Offsuit ace-king, while still valuable, might require more precise timing, especially in later stages, where the risk of elimination looms large. The lack of flush potential means that offsuit ace-king often has to rely on its high card strength, or on exploiting opponents' tendencies to overfold under tournament pressure. Understanding these nuances between suited and offsuit ace-king allows players to tailor their strategy to the specific context of the game they are playing. By recognizing the strengths and limitations of each variant, players can make more informed decisions that maximize their chances of success. Whether in cash games or tournaments, the ability to adjust based on the hand's composition and the surrounding circumstances is key to mastering the art of playing ace-king effectively. At a stack depth of 100 big blinds, ace-king becomes a versatile tool in a player's arsenal. The depth of chips allows for more nuanced pre-flop strategies, particularly in adjusting raise and 3-bet sizing. When holding ace-king, the standard opening raise might range from 2 to 3 times the big blind, depending on table dynamics and opponent tendencies. In deeper games, this sizing can be slightly increased to build a pot that allows for effective post-flop maneuvering. The ability to 3-bet with ace-king at this depth provides a balance between aggression and control, often used to isolate weaker players or to gain information about opponents' holdings. The challenge with ace-king at 100 big blinds lies in avoiding bloated pots when the flop does not improve your hand. Without a pair, ace-king remains a high-card hand, and caution is needed to prevent overcommitting chips. The key is to manage the pot size through selective continuation betting. On favorable board textures, a continuation bet can apply pressure, leveraging the high card strength and potential backdoor draws. However, on coordinated or opponent-favorable boards, checking or betting smaller can help control the pot size, preserving chips for future streets or hands. In deep stacked scenarios, ace-king also plays a crucial role in balancing 4-bet ranges. While it can be tempting to 4-bet aggressively, it's essential to consider the opponent's tendencies and the overall table dynamic. Against players who frequently 3-bet light, a 4-bet with ace-king can serve as both a value play and a bluff, depending on their likely response. The depth of stacks allows for this flexibility, as players can afford to fold to a 5-bet shove without devastating their stack. This balance is crucial in maintaining a robust and unpredictable range that keeps opponents guessing. When ace-king hits top pair deep, the objective shifts to extracting maximum value. With 100 big blinds, there is room to maneuver post-flop, allowing for strategic bet sizing that aims to build a pot gradually. On dry boards, where opponents are less likely to have strong draws, smaller bets can induce calls from weaker holdings, setting up larger bets on later streets. On wetter boards, larger bets might be necessary to protect the hand, while still aiming for value. The depth of stacks allows for this flexibility, enabling players to adjust their bet sizing based on board texture and opponent tendencies. The strategic adjustments required for deep stack play with ace-king also vary between cash games and tournaments. In cash games, the focus is on maximizing expected value over the long term. This means taking calculated risks when the opportunity arises, leveraging the depth of stacks to make informed decisions. The ability to reload in cash games allows for more aggressive lines with ace-king, particularly when targeting opponents who are prone to folding to pressure. In tournaments, however, the emphasis often shifts to chip preservation and survival. While ace-king remains a strong hand, the risk of elimination must be weighed against potential gains. In deep stack tournament play, the goal is to accumulate chips steadily without jeopardizing the stack unnecessarily. This might involve more conservative play with ace-king, especially in the early stages, where the value of survival is higher. As the tournament progresses and stack sizes fluctuate, the approach to playing ace-king must adapt accordingly, balancing the need for aggression with the importance of maintaining a viable stack. Understanding how to navigate ace-king at 100 big blinds requires a keen awareness of the game's dynamics and an ability to adjust strategies based on the specific context. By mastering the intricacies of deep stacked play, players can enhance their overall performance, leveraging ace-king to its fullest potential in both cash games and tournaments. At a stack depth of 40 big blinds, the dynamics of playing ace-king shift significantly. With medium stacks, maneuverability post-flop becomes restricted, demanding a more refined approach to pre-flop decisions. The key is to recognize the limitations imposed by this stack size, which often necessitates tighter control over the pot size and a more cautious approach to committing chips. Pre-flop raise sizing at 40 big blinds requires careful consideration. Typically, an opening raise might be around 2 to 2.5 times the big blind. This sizing helps to build the pot, while still allowing room for post-flop play if needed. The goal is to apply pressure without overcommitting, maintaining enough stack behind to navigate the hand effectively. In some situations, especially against weaker opponents, or in late position, a slightly larger raise might be appropriate to thin the field and isolate one or two players. Facing a 3-bet at this stack depth introduces the critical decision of whether to shove or fold. With ace-king, the decision often hinges on the opponent's tendencies and the overall table dynamics. Against aggressive opponents who frequently 3-bet light, shoving all in can be a profitable play, leveraging the fold equity and the inherent strength of ace-king. However, against tighter players or in situations where the 3-bet signals significant strength, folding might be the more prudent choice to preserve the stack for better opportunities. There are times when ace-king plays better as a flat call at 40 big blinds, particularly in position. By calling a 3-bet instead of shoving, you retain flexibility post-flop, allowing you to leverage position and potentially extract more value from weaker holdings. This approach can be especially effective against opponents who are prone to continuation betting on the flop, enabling you to capitalize on their aggression when the board favors your range or when you hit top pair. Adjustments between tournaments and cash games are essential when playing ace-king at this stack depth. In cash games, the ability to reload means that taking calculated risks with ace-king can be more justified. The focus is often on maximizing expected value, even if it means embracing variance in certain spots. This might involve more aggressive lines pre-flop, especially against opponents who are likely to fold to a shove. In tournaments, however, the emphasis shifts towards survival and chip preservation. With only 40 big blinds, the risk of elimination is significant, and each decision carries more weight. In early tournament stages, a more conservative approach might be warranted, avoiding unnecessary risks with ace-king, unless the situation clearly favors aggression. As the tournament progresses and the blinds increase, the need to accumulate chips becomes more pressing, potentially justifying more aggressive plays with ace-king in certain contexts. Understanding how to adjust with ace-king at 40 big blinds requires a nuanced appreciation of the game's dynamics. By carefully considering pre-flop raise sizing, evaluating shove or fold scenarios, and making strategic adjustments between tournaments and cash games, players can optimize their play with ace-king, balancing the need for aggression with the importance of maintaining a viable stack. When playing with a short stack of 20 big blinds or less, ace-king becomes a pivotal hand in your strategy. At this depth, the dynamics of the game shift dramatically, focusing on survival and maximizing fold equity. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, holds significant power in these situations, primarily due to its strong equity against a wide range of hands and its ability to pressure opponents into making difficult decisions. In short stack scenarios, the all-in shove becomes a primary weapon. With ace-king, shoving pre-flop is often the most effective play. This move capitalizes on the hand's inherent strength while leveraging fold equity. The goal is to force opponents to fold weaker hands, allowing you to pick up the blinds and antes uncontested. When opponents do call, ace-king usually holds favorable equity against typical calling ranges, which often include weaker aces, Broadway cards, and smaller pairs. Against these hands, Ace-King is rarely dominated and frequently has strong chances to win at showdown. Fold equity is a crucial component of short stack play. The fear of elimination can lead opponents to fold hands they might otherwise consider playing, especially in tournament settings where survival is paramount. By shoving with Ace-King, you put maximum pressure on opponents, forcing them to weigh the risk of calling against the potential loss of chips. This pressure is particularly effective against medium stacks, who may be reluctant to call off a significant portion of their chips without a premium holding. Decisions between tournament survival and chip accumulation are at the heart of short stack strategy. In tournaments, maintaining a viable stack is essential for staying in contention. While accumulating chips is important, the primary focus is often on survival. With a hand like Ace-King, the opportunity to double up and significantly improve your standing in the tournament can justify the risk of going all in. However, it's crucial to recognize when the situation warrants aggression and when it's better to conserve your stack for a more favorable spot. Common mistakes with Ace-King at short stack depths include overvaluing the hand in unfavorable situations. While Ace-King is strong, it's not invincible. Pushing all in into multiple opponents or against players who have shown significant strength can lead to unnecessary eliminations. Another mistake is failing to recognize the importance of position. Shoving from early position with Ace-King might invite calls from a wider range of hands than if you were to shove from late position, where you can better gauge opponents' tendencies and ranges. Misjudging fold equity is another frequent error. Assuming opponents will always fold to a shove with Ace-King can lead to overconfidence. It's important to assess the table dynamics, considering factors such as opponents' stack sizes, playing styles, and the stage of the tournament. Understanding these elements helps in making informed decisions about when to push all in and when to wait for a better opportunity. In summary, playing Ace-King with a short stack of 20 big blinds or less requires a blend of aggression and strategic foresight. The all-in shove is a powerful tool, but it must be used judiciously, with careful consideration of fold equity and opponent tendencies. By avoiding common pitfalls and focusing on both survival and chip accumulation, players can maximize the potential of Ace-King in these critical situations. Ace-King, often viewed as a formidable starting hand, holds a special significance in both tournament and cash game settings. In tournaments, Ace-King frequently represents an opportunity for a pivotal all-in move. The hand's high card strength and potential to dominate weaker aces make it a powerful tool when the objective is to accumulate chips swiftly. The nature of tournament play, with its escalating blinds and antes, often forces players to take calculated risks. Ace-King, with its strong equity against a wide range of hands, becomes a prime candidate for such aggressive plays. The all-in move with Ace-King in tournaments is not just about the hand itself, but also about exerting pressure on opponents, who may be wary of risking their tournament life without premium holdings. In cash games, the dynamics shift significantly. Here, the depth of the stacks allows for more nuanced post-flop play. Ace-King, while still strong, must be navigated with a greater emphasis on implied odds and the potential for deep stack maneuvering. The ability to see flops and play multiple streets changes the risk-reward calculation. Players can afford to take a more patient approach, extracting value from weaker hands over time rather than relying on pre-flop all-ins. The cash game environment rewards players who can skillfully navigate post-flop scenarios, using Ace-King to build pots when favorable boards arise, or exercising caution when the board texture does not cooperate. The risk-reward balance between tournaments and cash games is stark. In tournaments, the finite nature of chips and the looming threat of elimination create a sense of urgency. Ace-King becomes a hand that can propel a player into a commanding position, or conversely, lead to an early exit. This high-stakes environment amplifies the pressure on each decision, with players weighing the potential for a significant chip increase against the risk of busting out. In contrast, cash games offer the luxury of rebuying, allowing players to take a longer-term view. The emphasis shifts to making profitable decisions over time, rather than maximizing immediate chip gains. Tournament payout structures add another layer of complexity to ace-king decisions. The top-heavy nature of payouts often incentivizes players to aim for a deep run, rather than merely surviving. This can lead to more aggressive plays with ace-king, especially as the bubble approaches or during the final table. Understanding the implications of payout jumps and adjusting strategy accordingly is crucial. Ace-king, with its strong all-in potential, becomes a tool for exploiting opponents who may be overly cautious about their tournament standing. In cash games, the focus on implied odds and deep stack play means that ace-king can be used to extract value from opponents who are willing to call with dominated hands. The ability to capitalize on opponents' mistakes over multiple streets is a key advantage. Players can afford to be selective, waiting for favorable conditions to maximize the hand's potential. The depth of stacks allows for creative lines, such as slow playing on dry boards or setting traps for aggressive opponents. Ultimately, the approach to playing ace-king varies significantly between tournaments and cash games. In tournaments, the hand's value often lies in its ability to secure critical double-ups and apply pressure at key moments. Cash games, on the other hand, reward patience and the ability to navigate post-flop complexities with precision. Understanding these differences and adapting strategy accordingly is essential for maximizing the potential of ace-king in any poker format. In the early stages of a poker tournament, playing ace-king aggressively can yield significant benefits, especially when players are sitting on deep stacks. During these initial levels, the blinds are relatively small compared to the stack sizes, allowing for a more flexible approach to hand selection and aggression. Ace-king, with its high card strength and potential to dominate many other starting hands, becomes a prime candidate for building a robust chip stack. Raising with ace-king in early levels not only leverages its inherent strength, but also helps to establish a commanding table presence. By opening with ace-king, a player can project an image of confidence and control, making opponents more cautious in their responses. However, while aggression can be advantageous, it's crucial to avoid creating bloated pots with speculative hands during these early stages. The goal is not to overcommit chips unnecessarily, but to apply pressure strategically. When holding ace-king, a player should aim to raise enough to isolate opponents with weaker holdings, reducing the likelihood of facing multiple opponents post-flop. This approach minimizes the risk of encountering unpredictable board textures that could favor speculative hands like suited connectors or small pairs. By carefully managing pot size, a player can maintain control and make more informed decisions on subsequent streets. Open raise sizes in the early levels should reflect the balance between aggression and caution. Typically, raising 2 to 3 times the big blind is a standard strategy, providing enough pressure to thin the field without overcommitting. This sizing also leaves room for maneuverability post-flop, allowing for continuation bets or pot control as needed. The key is to maintain the initiative, while preserving the flexibility to adapt to the evolving dynamics of the table. Building a strong table image with ace-king during the early stages is another strategic advantage. By consistently applying pressure with premium hands, a player can cultivate a reputation as aggressive and competent. This perception can pay dividends in later stages, as opponents may become more hesitant to challenge raises, allowing for easier steals and bluffs. The early establishment of such an image sets the groundwork for a more nuanced strategy as the tournament progresses. Despite the benefits of aggressive play with ace-king, it's important to be mindful of the risks associated with coin flips. In the early tournament stages, survival often holds more value than taking marginal all-in risks. While Ace-King is a strong hand, it can still find itself in situations where it faces a coin flip against pocket pairs. These scenarios can be high variance, and losing a significant portion of a stack early on can hinder a player's ability to navigate the tournament effectively. Thus, exercising caution and avoiding unnecessary all-ins with Ace-King against potential flips is prudent, especially when survival is paramount. In summary, early tournament play with Ace-King involves a delicate balance of aggression and caution. By leveraging its strength through calculated raises, a player can build a commanding table image and accumulate chips effectively. However, maintaining awareness of pot size and avoiding risky coin flips is essential to preserve a healthy stack and ensure longevity in the tournament. This strategic approach allows Ace-King to serve as both a tool for chip accumulation and a means to establish early dominance at the table. As the tournament progresses into the mid-stages, the dynamics of play undergo significant changes, impacting the value and strategy surrounding Ace-King. One of the most pronounced shifts is the increase in blinds and antes, which gradually escalate the cost of play. This increase not only affects the stack sizes relative to the blinds, but also heightens the pressure on players to accumulate chips. Ace-King, with its combination of high card strength and potential to improve, becomes a pivotal hand in navigating these rising stakes. During these mid-stages, Ace-King can be effectively used to target medium stacks. Players with medium stacks often find themselves in a precarious position, where they must balance the need to preserve their chips with the necessity to accumulate more. Ace-King serves as an ideal hand to apply pressure on these players. By raising or 3-betting with Ace-King, a player can capitalize on the reluctance of medium stacks to commit their chips without premium holdings. This strategy can force folds from opponents wary of risking their tournament life, thereby allowing the Ace-King holder to chip up without the need for a showdown. As the tournament evolves, 3-betting ranges naturally widen. Players become more aggressive in their attempts to steal blinds and antes, and Ace-King fits comfortably within these expanded ranges. When 3-betting with Ace-King, the goal is to assert dominance and take control of the pot pre-flop. This aggression not only increases the likelihood of winning the pot outright, but also sets the stage for favorable post-flop scenarios should the hand continue. The ability to 3-bet effectively with Ace-King is crucial, as it allows a player to leverage their position and hand strength against opponents who may be opening with weaker ranges. In the mid-stage of a tournament, Ace-King can shift from being a speculative hand to one that is shove-worthy. The increasing blinds and antes reduce the effective stack sizes, making all-in moves more common and often necessary. Ace-King, with its strong equity against a wide range of hands, becomes an attractive candidate for shoving, especially when the stack-to-pot ratio is low. Shoving with Ace-King can maximize fold equity, allowing a player to win the pot uncontested. Moreover, when called, Ace-King still retains solid equity against many hands, making it a viable option for accumulating chips through aggressive play. Reading opponent tendencies is vital during this phase of the tournament. As players adjust to the mid-stage pressure, their behaviors and strategies may shift. Some players may tighten up, hoping to survive until the money, while others might become more aggressive in an attempt to build a stack for a deeper run. Recognizing these tendencies can inform how Ace-King is played. Against tighter opponents, Ace-King can be used to apply pressure through raises and 3-bets, exploiting their inclination to fold marginal hands. Conversely, against aggressive opponents, Ace-King can serve as a strong hand to call or re-raise with, taking advantage of their wider opening ranges. In summary, the mid-stage dynamics of a tournament present unique opportunities and challenges for playing Ace-King. The rising blinds and antes increase the importance of chip accumulation, making ace-king a valuable tool for applying pressure on medium stacks and widening 3-bet ranges. As the hand shifts from speculative to shove-worthy, understanding opponent tendencies becomes crucial in maximizing its potential. Through strategic aggression and keen observation, ace-king can be leveraged to navigate the complexities of mid-stage tournament play effectively. At the final table of a poker tournament, the pressure is palpable, and every decision carries significant weight. The payout implications at this stage are profound, influencing how players approach each hand, especially with a powerful holding like ace-king. The strength of ace-king can fluctuate based on the potential financial rewards and the stack sizes of the remaining players. As players aim for higher payouts, the value of ace-king is not just in its inherent strength, but also in its ability to pressure opponents who are conscious of the escalating prize money. The concept of ICM, or independent chip model, becomes crucial at the final table. ICM takes into account the distribution of prize money and the relative chip stacks of players. This model often dictates that players should be more conservative with hands like ace-king, especially when they face all-in decisions. Even with a strong hand like ace-king, the risk of elimination and the potential loss of equity in the prize pool can lead to folds that might seem counterintuitive in other contexts. Understanding when to fold ace-king under ICM pressure is a key skill, as preserving chips can sometimes be more valuable than risking them, even with a premium hand. Spotting profitable shove spots with ace-king is another critical aspect of final table play. Opponents at this stage are often risk-averse, trying to avoid busting out before the next pay jump. This creates opportunities for players with ace-king to apply pressure by shoving all in, especially against medium stacks that are hesitant to call without a premium hand. The fold equity generated by such shoves can be substantial, allowing players to pick up blinds and antes uncontested. Identifying these moments requires a keen understanding of opponents' tendencies and the dynamics of the table. Final table dynamics also shift significantly when the game becomes short-handed. As players are eliminated, the value of ace-king increases, given the reduced number of opponents and the likelihood of facing weaker hands. In short-handed play, ace-king often becomes a dominant force, capable of winning pots both pre-flop and post-flop. The ability to leverage ace-king's strength in these situations can lead to substantial chip accumulation, positioning a player well for a run at the title. Throughout poker history, there have been many famous examples of ace-king playing a pivotal role at final tables. These hands are often remembered for their dramatic impact and the way they highlight the strategic depth of the game. For instance, in the 1998 World Series of Poker, ace-king was central to several key hands that determined the tournament's outcome. Such examples provide valuable lessons in how to navigate the pressures of a final table with ace-king, demonstrating both the potential for triumph and the risk of downfall. Ultimately, the decisions surrounding ace-king at a final table are complex and multifaceted. The interplay of payout implications, ICM considerations, and table dynamics requires a player to think critically and adaptively. Ace-king, while powerful, must be wielded with precision, balancing aggression with caution to maximize its potential in the high-stakes environment of a final table. As a poker tournament approaches the bubble, the dynamics of play shift dramatically. Players become acutely aware of the impending payout, and this awareness often leads to more cautious and survival-oriented strategies. In this environment, ace-king becomes a formidable tool for applying pressure. Its strength lies not only in its raw power, but also in its ability to leverage fold equity. When players are focused on surviving to reach the money, they tend to fold more readily to aggression, especially from a hand as strong as ace-king. This makes it an ideal candidate for aggressive pre-flop raises and all-in shoves, forcing opponents to make difficult decisions about their tournament life. The power of ace-king near the bubble is amplified by its ability to exploit the fear of elimination. Players with medium or small stacks are often hesitant to risk their chips unless they hold a premium hand themselves. This creates a unique opportunity for those wielding ace-king to pick up blinds and antes uncontested. The fold equity in these situations can be substantial, allowing for chip accumulation without needing to see a flop. This accumulation is crucial for building a stack that can comfortably navigate the post-bubble phase of the tournament. However, while aggression with ace-king is advantageous, it must be balanced with the overarching goal of survival. The bubble is a delicate time, where the risk of elimination must be weighed against the potential for gaining chips. Overcommitting with ace-king against larger stacks can be perilous. Big stacks often have the luxury of applying pressure themselves, and they may be more willing to call an all-in shove with a wider range. Thus, it is important to gauge the stack sizes and tendencies of opponents before deciding on the level of aggression with ace-king. Ace-king also serves as an effective ray-steal hand during the bubble. When players with medium stacks attempt to steal blinds with weaker holdings, ace-king can be used to push back. A well-timed all-in over the top of a steal attempt can force folds from opponents who are not willing to risk their tournament life. This use of ace-king as a ray-steal hand requires careful observation of opponents' betting patterns and an understanding of their likely ranges. By identifying players who are attempting to exploit the bubble themselves, ace-king can be used to turn the tables and seize control of the pot. Despite its strength, caution is warranted when facing big stacks that are actively pressuring the table. These players are often looking to exploit the bubble by forcing smaller stacks into difficult decisions. In such scenarios, it is crucial to avoid overcommitting with ace-king. While it remains a powerful hand, the risk of running into a stronger holding or being called by a big stack's wide range can lead to undesirable outcomes. Instead, focus on targeting medium and small stacks that are more likely to fold under pressure. In the intricate dance of bubble play, ace-king shines as both a weapon and a shield. Its ability to apply pressure and extract folds is unmatched, yet it demands careful consideration of the broader tournament landscape. By balancing aggression with the necessity of survival, players can harness the full potential of ace-king, turning it into a pivotal tool for navigating the bubble and beyond. In poker tournaments, the independent chip model, or ICM, is a crucial concept that influences decision-making, especially with a hand like ace-king. ICM evaluates a player's tournament equity based on their chip stack relative to the remaining players and the prize pool distribution. This model is particularly impactful near the end stages of a tournament, where the value of chips fluctuates significantly due to payout structures. Ace-king, often regarded as a premium hand, must be played with careful consideration of ICM pressures, which can alter its typical preflop strength. When contemplating shoving or folding with ace-king under ICM pressure, the primary focus shifts from chip accumulation to chip preservation. The risk of elimination becomes a more pressing concern than simply winning more chips. For instance, when on the cusp of a significant pay jump, the value of survival can outweigh the potential benefits of an aggressive play. Ace-king, while strong, does not guarantee a win against calling ranges that might include pocket pairs or even other high cards. Thus, understanding when to push all in or fold hinges on the ICM implications of each decision. ICM-driven shoving ranges with ace-king are influenced by stack sizes, both yours and your opponent's. A short stack might find ace-king an automatic shove, leveraging fold equity and the hand's inherent strength to stay alive or double up. However, with a medium stack, the decision becomes more nuanced. Shoving into larger stacks that can afford to call lightly may not be prudent, especially if it risks tournament life without substantial gain. Conversely, shoving over smaller stacks can apply pressure as they are less likely to call without a premium hand themselves. Spotting ICM suicide spots is another critical aspect of playing ace-king under these conditions. An ICM suicide spot occurs when a player makes an aggressive move that risks their tournament life with little regard for the potential payout implications. With ace-king, it's essential to avoid these traps, particularly when facing opponents who may call with a wider range due to their chip advantage. Recognizing these moments requires a keen awareness of the table dynamics and the motivations behind each player's actions. There are situations where ace-king becomes a fold, despite its apparent strength. This often happens when the risk of losing outweighs the potential reward, such as in scenarios where a double-up would not significantly improve your standing relative to the field. For instance, if folding allows you to secure a pay jump or outlast a player with fewer chips, passing up on ace-king might be the correct play. This decision is not about the hand's raw equity, but rather the strategic equity within the tournament structure. Adapting against opponents who over-adjust to ICM is another layer of complexity. Some players may become overly cautious, folding too frequently to aggression due to fear of elimination. Against such players, ace-king can be wielded more aggressively, exploiting their tendency to avoid confrontation. On the other hand, opponents who ignore ICM considerations and call too liberally can be dangerous. In these cases, it might be wise to tighten up, ensuring that any shove with ace-king is made with a solid understanding of their likely calling ranges. In the realm of tournament poker, ace-king under ICM pressure requires a delicate balance between aggression and caution. Each decision must consider not only the hand's strength but also the broader implications on tournament equity. By mastering these nuances, players can navigate the complexities of ICM and leverage ace-king effectively, even in the most pressure-filled situations. When playing ace-king post-flop, the landscape shifts dramatically if the board misses your hand. Ace-king, often hailed for its pre-flop power, can quickly become a challenge when the flop does not improve your hand. On dry boards, where the texture is sparse and uncoordinated, continuation betting can still be a valuable tool. These boards, lacking in draws or strong connections, offer an opportunity to represent a wide range of strong hands, even when holding just high cards. The key is to maintain a consistent betting pattern that aligns with the story you told pre-flop. By doing so, you can leverage fold equity, encouraging opponents to fold hands that might have marginal equity against your presumed range. In contrast, when facing multi-way pots, the dynamics change significantly. With multiple opponents, the likelihood of at least one player connecting with the board increases. In these situations, it's often prudent to relinquish your aggression if the flop does not favor your hand. A missed ace-king in a multi-way pot can quickly become a liability, as the chances of being outdrawn or facing resistance are higher. In such cases, preserving your stack by opting not to continuation bet can be a wise decision, allowing you to conserve chips for more favorable scenarios. When the turn card is revealed, the presence of backdoor equity can influence your decision to fire a second barrel. Backdoor draws, such as a potential flush or straight, provide additional outs that can turn the tide in your favor. If the turn card enhances these possibilities, a well-timed bet can apply pressure to opponents who might be holding marginal hands. The ability to semi-bluff in these spots is contingent on your ability to read the table and assess the likelihood of your opponent's folding. By carefully selecting these moments, you can capitalize on the potential to improve while maintaining the initiative in the hand. Reading opponent aggression is crucial when ace-king fails to connect. Opponents who show strength in the face of your aggression may be holding a hand that connects well with the board, or they might be exploiting your perceived weakness. Recognizing when an opponent is genuinely strong versus when they are bluffing is a skill that requires attention to their betting patterns and tendencies. If an opponent is known for aggressive bluffs, you might consider calling down with ace-king high, especially if the board texture suggests they could be bluffing. However, if their aggression is backed by a solid hand, it may be time to fold and preserve your stack for more advantageous situations. Avoiding stack commitment with just high card strength is a fundamental principle when playing ace-king post-flop. The temptation to chase down a hand or double barrel in the hope of forcing a fold can lead to unnecessary losses. Instead, focus on managing the pot size and making calculated decisions that align with the strength of your hand. In scenarios where the board texture and opponent actions suggest you are behind, exercising discipline by folding can prevent further losses. By maintaining a clear understanding of your hand's relative strength and the dynamics at play, you can navigate post-flop situations with ace-king more effectively, minimizing risk and maximizing your long-term success. Flopping top pair with ace-king is a situation that often brings a sense of relief and opportunity. When the board falls with an ace or king, your hand transforms from a drawing prospect into a formidable force. The key to capitalizing on this scenario lies in your ability to manage bet sizing effectively. With top pair, top kicker, it's crucial to extract value from opponents holding weaker aces or kings. A balanced approach to bet sizing can help achieve this. Betting too small may allow opponents to draw cheaply, while betting too large could scare away hands you want to extract value from. A moderate bet size, typically around half to 2/3 of the pot, often strikes the right balance. This size pressures opponents with weaker holdings to call, maximizing potential value while still protecting against draws. Pot control becomes essential when facing aggression after flopping top pair. If an opponent raises your continuation bet, it's important to assess their range and the board texture. Not all aggressive actions signify strength. Some players might bluff or semi-bluff in an attempt to take down the pot. However, when facing a raise, consider the potential for two-pair combinations or sets that could be lurking. In these situations, controlling the pot size by opting to call rather than re-raise can help manage risk. By keeping the pot smaller, you maintain flexibility on later streets and avoid committing too many chips when uncertain of being ahead. Extracting value against dominated aces is a profitable endeavor when holding ace-king. Opponents with hands like ace-queen or ace-jack may feel committed to calling your bets, especially if they also hold top pair. To maximize value, a steady stream of bets on each street can be effective. However, be mindful of board runouts that may introduce straights or flushes, potentially altering the strength of your hand relative to theirs. In these cases, adjusting bet sizes to reflect the changing board dynamics ensures you continue to extract value while mitigating risk. Recognizing dangerous board textures, despite holding top pair, is critical. Boards that include coordinated cards, such as suited connectors or multiple Broadway cards, can spell trouble. These textures increase the likelihood of opponents completing straights or flushes, even when you hold top pair. In such scenarios, exercising caution with your betting strategy is prudent. A more conservative approach, such as checking or reducing bet sizes, can help avoid overcommitting against potentially stronger hands. The goal is to maintain control without exposing yourself to unnecessary risk when the board becomes treacherous. Adjusting your strategy depending on whether the pot was single-raised or 3-bet preflop is also important. In single-raised pots, opponents' ranges tend to be wider, including more speculative hands. This allows for more value extraction opportunities, as weaker hands are more likely to call down. Conversely, in 3-bet pots, opponents usually hold stronger, more condensed ranges. Here, exercising caution is advisable, as the likelihood of facing a strong hand increases. In these situations, consider the opponent's tendencies and the specific board runout when deciding on your line. By tailoring your approach to the pre-flop action, you enhance your ability to navigate post-flop play effectively, ensuring that your top pair with ace-king yields the best possible outcome. Ace-king is a hand that holds immense potential, yet it can also present challenges, particularly when the board reveals overcards such as queens or jacks. In these situations, the strength of ace-king diminishes, transforming from a top-tier starting hand into one that requires careful navigation. The presence of overcards can often signal danger, as they provide opportunities for opponents to have made hands that surpass the high card strength of ace-king. This scenario calls for a cautious approach, prioritizing the assessment of board texture and opponent tendencies. When the board features overcards like queens or jacks, it is crucial to evaluate the likelihood of your opponents holding these cards. Middle pairs in their range, such as pocket tens or nines, may now have overtaken your ace-king. In these cases, the decision to continue betting or to shift into a more passive line becomes pivotal. The key lies in understanding the dynamics of the table and the specific tendencies of your opponents. Some players may exploit these boards by betting aggressively, hoping to represent strength and force folds. Recognizing these tendencies can inform your decision-making process. Deciding whether to bluff or check fold in the face of overcards involves weighing several factors. If the board texture is dry and the likelihood of opponents connecting with it is low, a well-timed bluff can pressure opponents into folding weaker hands. However, if the board is coordinated, or if you sense that your opponent's range includes many hands that connect with the overcards, opting for a check fold might be the more prudent choice. The decision should be guided by both the specific board and the behavior of your opponent, ensuring that you maintain control over the size of the pot and the chips at risk. Continuing with backdoor equity can be a viable strategy when faced with overcards. Backdoor draws, such as a potential flush or straight, provide additional opportunities to improve your hand on later streets. If the board offers backdoor potential and your opponent's actions suggest weakness, continuing with a small bet or a call can keep you in the hand while preserving the chance to capitalize on future improvements. This approach requires a keen sense of timing and the ability to read the table dynamics effectively. Profiling opponents in overcard situations is an essential skill. Understanding how different players react to boards with overcards can significantly influence your strategy. Some opponents may be prone to folding to aggression when they perceive their hand to be outdrawn, while others might call or raise with a wider range. By observing betting patterns and previous actions, you can tailor your approach to exploit their tendencies. This knowledge allows you to make informed decisions, whether it means applying pressure with a bluff or opting for a more conservative line to minimize potential losses. In conclusion, handling overcards with ace-king requires a blend of caution and strategic insight. The presence of queens or jacks on the board demands a reassessment of your hand's relative strength and a careful consideration of opponent behavior. By evaluating board texture, recognizing opponent tendencies, and leveraging backdoor equity, you can navigate these challenging situations with confidence and poise. The key is to remain adaptable, adjusting your strategy as the hand unfolds, ensuring that ace-king remains a formidable tool in your poker arsenal. Ace-king suited offers a unique opportunity in poker through its potential to form the nut flush. This possibility turns ace-king into a formidable weapon when the board presents suited cards that match your hand. The presence of two cards of the same suit on the flop allows you to leverage your nut flush draw in aggressive lines. Semi-bluffing in this context involves betting with the dual intention of winning the pot immediately, or improving to the best hand if called. The strength of the nut flush draw lies not only in its potential to complete a powerful hand, but also in the fold equity it provides. Opponents are often wary of facing aggression on coordinated boards, and a well-timed bet can force folds from hands that might otherwise contest the pot. Broadway straight draws present another semi-bluffing opportunity, with ace-king. When the flop comes with cards like 10, jack, or queen, ace-king can draw to the top end of a straight. This scenario allows you to apply pressure, betting to represent a made hand or a strong draw. The presence of an open-ended straight draw with ace-king increases your hand's equity, making it a strong candidate for semi-bluffing. The combination of fold equity and the potential to improve on later streets makes this approach effective against opponents who might fold to aggression. By betting in these spots, you can take advantage of opponents' reluctance to continue with marginal holdings. Fold equity plays a crucial role in semi-bluffing with ace-king. The ability to make opponents fold better hands is a valuable asset, especially when combined with the potential to improve. When you hold ace-king, aggressive lines can often lead to profitable outcomes by forcing folds from hands that might have been ahead at that moment. The key is to recognize situations where your opponents are likely to fold, either due to the board texture or their tendencies. By understanding the dynamics of the table and the players involved, you can craft a strategy that maximizes your fold equity while keeping the possibility of improving your hand in mind. Turn barreling with ace-king involves continuing aggression on the turn after semi-bluffing the flop. This strategy is particularly effective when holding backdoor equity, such as a potential flush or straight draw that could materialize on the turn or river. By betting again on the turn, you maintain pressure on your opponents, potentially forcing them to fold hands that have not improved. The decision to barrel on the turn should be informed by the board texture and the perceived strength of your opponent's range. If the turn card enhances your backdoor equity or weakens your opponent's perceived range, a turn barrel can be a powerful tool in your arsenal. Balancing bluffs and value with ace-king requires a nuanced understanding of poker dynamics. While semi-bluffing is a valuable tactic, it is essential to balance these bluffs with value bets to prevent opponents from exploiting your strategy. When you hold ace-king and the board is favorable, betting for value is crucial to extracting maximum profit from weaker hands. The key is to maintain a balance between bluffs and value bets, ensuring that your betting patterns remain unpredictable. By doing so, you can keep opponents guessing and prevent them from accurately reading your hand strength. In summary, semi-bluffing with ace-king involves leveraging the hand's potential to improve while capitalizing on fold equity. Whether through nut-flush draws or Broadway straight draws, the ability to apply pressure with ace-king can lead to profitable outcomes. Recognizing when to barrel on the turn and balancing bluffs with value are essential components of a successful semi-bluffing strategy. By mastering these concepts, you can enhance your overall poker game and make the most of ace-king's potential. Ace-king holds a unique position in poker strategy due to its ability to act as a blocker. In poker, a blocker is a card in your hand that reduces the number of combinations of certain strong hands your opponents might hold. When you have an ace or a king in your hand, it decreases the likelihood that your opponents can have pocket aces or pocket kings. This characteristic of ace-king makes it a powerful tool in bluffing scenarios. By holding an ace or a king, you can more confidently represent strong hands, knowing that your opponents are less likely to have them. Bluffing with ace-king becomes more effective when you leverage these blockers. When you hold an ace, your opponent's chances of having pocket aces are reduced. Similarly, holding a king decreases the likelihood of them having pocket kings. This knowledge can embolden you to make aggressive plays, such as 3-bets and 4-bets, representing a range of strong hands. Opponents aware of blocker effects might fold more readily, fearing they are up against a premium holding. This dynamic allows you to apply pressure and potentially win pots without a showdown. Adjusting your 3-bet and 4-bet bluffs based on blockers is a nuanced strategy that can enhance your poker game. When you have ace-king, you can more comfortably 3-bet or 4-bet as a bluff, knowing that your blockers make it less likely for opponents to have the strongest hands. This tactic is particularly effective against opponents who are observant and capable of folding to aggression. By incorporating blockers into your decision-making process, you can craft a more balanced and unpredictable range, making it difficult for opponents to pinpoint your hand strength. Ace-king suited adds another layer to blocker strategy by reducing opponents' flush combinations. When you hold ace-king suited, you not only block some of the strongest hands, but also decrease the number of flush draws your opponents might have. This reduction in flush possibilities can be exploited in bluffing scenarios, especially on boards with potential flush draws. By betting aggressively, you can represent a flush or a strong draw, leveraging the reduced likelihood of opponents having a flush themselves. This tactic can force folds from players holding weaker draws or marginal hands. Incorporating blocker theory into balanced ranges is essential for maintaining an effective poker strategy. When you understand how blockers work, you can construct a range that mixes value bets and bluffs more effectively. Ace-king plays a pivotal role in this balance, offering both high card strength and blocking power. By selectively using ace-king in your 3-bet and 4-bet ranges, you can keep opponents guessing and prevent them from easily reading your hand strength. This unpredictability is crucial in maintaining an edge over skilled opponents who pay close attention to betting patterns. The concept of blockers with ace-king is not just about aggression, it's also about control and precision. Knowing when to deploy ace-king as a bluff and when to rely on its blocking value requires a deep understanding of opponent tendencies and table dynamics. By integrating blocker theory into your overall strategy, you can make more informed decisions and increase your chances of success. Ace-king's ability to block key hands and reduce certain combinations in opponents' ranges makes it an invaluable asset in both cash games and tournaments, where every decision can significantly impact your results. Bluff catching with ace-king high requires a delicate balance of observation and intuition. When you hold ace-king and the board runs out without an ace or king, you're left with high card strength. In these situations, the potential to catch bluffs becomes crucial. Identifying spots where ace-king high can beat missed draws involves assessing the board and your opponent's actions. Look for situations where your opponent's line makes sense for a missed draw. For example, if the board shows a possible flush or straight draw that doesn't complete, your opponent might be betting aggressively to represent a hand they don't actually hold. Reading bet sizing tells in bluff-heavy spots is an essential skill when bluff catching with ace-king high. Opponents may vary their bet sizes based on the strength of their hand. A smaller bet might indicate a weaker hand or a missed draw, while a larger bet could be a sign of strength or an attempt to push you off your hand. Pay attention to your opponent's tendencies and previous actions to determine if their betting pattern is consistent with a bluff. If they've been aggressive throughout the hand and the river doesn't complete obvious draws, it might be an opportunity to call with ace-king high. The risk-reward of calling with ace-king high must be carefully considered. While calling a bluff can be rewarding, it's important to weigh the potential payoff against the risk of losing the pot. The size of the pot and the bet you're facing should influence your decision. If the pot odds are favorable, and you believe your opponent is bluffing, calling with ace-king high can be a profitable play. However, if the bet size is large relative to the pot, and you're uncertain about your read, it might be wiser to fold and preserve your stack for more favorable situations. Board textures play a significant role in determining whether to bluff catch with ace-king high. Dry boards with few draw possibilities are generally better for bluff catching, as there are fewer legitimate hands your opponent could have. Conversely, wet boards with multiple draws are riskier, as your opponent could be betting with a strong-made hand or a completed draw. Look for boards that limit your opponent's value range and increase the likelihood they're bluffing. For instance, a board with disconnected low cards and no flush draw can be ideal for catching bluffs when holding ace-king high. Position is a critical factor that improves bluff-catching decisions with ace-king high. When you act after your opponent, you have the advantage of seeing their actions on each street before making your decision. This allows you to gather more information about their hand strength and betting intentions. In position, you can control the size of the pot and decide whether to call, raise, or fold based on the information you've gathered. Out of position, you're at a disadvantage, as your opponent can dictate the pace of the hand and put you in difficult spots. Therefore, being in position enhances your ability to make accurate reads and catch bluffs effectively. In summary, bluff catching with ace-king high is a nuanced aspect of poker strategy that requires careful consideration of various factors. By identifying spots where your opponent's line is consistent with a bluff, reading bet sizing tells, and evaluating board textures, you can make informed decisions about when to call with ace-king high. Additionally, leveraging the advantage of position allows you to gather more information and improve your bluff-catching accuracy. While the risk-reward of calling bluffs must always be weighed, mastering these elements can enhance your overall poker game and lead to more successful outcomes. Controlling the pot size with ace-king is a vital skill that can help manage variance and preserve your stack. When you hold ace-king, the strength of your hand can vary significantly based on board texture and opponent actions. In situations where ace-king is marginal, keeping pots small is essential to reducing variance. Smaller pots allow you to navigate post-flop play with more flexibility. This approach minimizes potential losses when your hand fails to improve, and it keeps the pressure on your opponents to make mistakes. Checkbacks on safe boards with top pair are a strategic choice when you have ace-king. If you've raised pre-flop and connect with the board by hitting top pair, top kicker, you might consider checking back on the flop. This line of play can be particularly effective on dry boards where your hand is likely ahead of your opponent's range. By checking back, you control the pot size and disguise the strength of your hand. This can induce bluffs on later streets or lead to value betting opportunities if your opponent bets into you. Delayed continuation bets with ace-king can also be a useful tactic. If you miss the flop, consider checking back and waiting for the turn to make your move. This approach can serve multiple purposes. It allows you to see another card for free, potentially improving your hand. It also gives you the chance to reevaluate the situation based on your opponent's actions. If your opponent shows weakness by checking the turn, a delayed continuation bet can be effective in taking down the pot. This line keeps the pot manageable while still applying pressure when appropriate. Managing stack-to-pot ratios is crucial when ace-king misses the flop. A high stack-to-pot ratio gives you more room to maneuver and make strategic decisions without committing too many chips. If the pot becomes too large relative to your stack, you risk being pot committed with a marginal hand. To avoid this, be mindful of your bet sizing pre-flop and on the flop. Smaller bets help maintain a favorable stack-to-pot ratio, allowing you to make informed decisions on later streets without overextending. Avoiding overcommitting in bloated pots is another key consideration with ace-king. When the pot grows too large, it can lead to difficult decisions, particularly if your hand hasn't improved. Overcommitting can result in losing a significant portion of your stack if you're forced to fold or if you run into a stronger hand. To prevent this, focus on keeping the pot size under control from the outset. This means resisting the urge to make large bets or raises when your hand is not yet made. Instead, opt for smaller, more calculated bets that maintain pot control and keep your options open. In summary, controlling the pot size with ace-king is a strategic approach that helps manage risk and preserve your stack. By keeping pots small, checking back on safe boards, and using delayed continuation bets, you can navigate post-flop play with greater flexibility. Managing stack-to-pot ratios and avoiding overcommitting in bloated pots are essential for maintaining control and making informed decisions. This disciplined approach allows you to capitalize on ace-king's potential, while minimizing the risks associated with overplaying the hand. Playing ace-king against aggressive players requires a nuanced understanding of their tendencies and a strategic approach to capitalize on their aggression. Identifying frequent three-betters is a crucial first step. These players often use aggression to pressure opponents into folding, hoping to steal pots without seeing a flop. When you hold ace-king, recognizing these patterns allows you to adjust your strategy accordingly. Instead of folding to their three bets, consider calling or even four-betting, especially if you suspect their range is wide and includes weaker hands. By standing firm with ace-king, you can exploit their loose aggression, turning their own strategy against them. Inducing bluffs with ace-king can be a powerful tactic against aggressive opponents. By checking on certain flops where you might typically bet, you create opportunities for these players to bluff. For instance, if you hit top pair with ace-king on a relatively dry board, checking can encourage an aggressive player to bet, thinking they can push you off your hand. This line of play not only maximizes value from their bluffs, but also keeps the pot size manageable, allowing you to control the flow of the hand while extracting additional chips from their misguided aggression. When facing aggressive opponents, four-bet shoving with ace-king can be an effective strategy, particularly when you have a solid read on their tendencies. If an opponent frequently three-bets light and you hold ace-king, a four-bet shove can put them in a difficult position. Often they will fold their weaker holdings, allowing you to pick up the pot uncontested. Even if called, ace-king typically has strong equity against their range, making this a profitable play over time. This approach leverages the strength of ace-king, while neutralizing the pressure that aggressive players often apply. Post-flop, ace-king can become a trap hand against aggression if not played carefully. When you hit top pair, it's important to navigate the hand with caution. Aggressive opponents may continue to fire multiple barrels, attempting to push you off your hand. In these situations, maintaining pot control is key. Rather than engaging in a raising war, consider calling down their bets, especially if the board texture is not overly threatening. This allows you to evaluate their aggression without risking too much of your stack, ensuring that you can make informed decisions based on their actions. Avoiding tilt in high-pressure environments is essential when playing ace-king against aggressive players. The nature of such opponents can be frustrating, as they often force you into uncomfortable spots. However, maintaining composure and sticking to your game plan is crucial. Recognize that aggressive players thrive on creating chaos and inducing mistakes. By staying calm and focused, you can avoid falling into their traps. Take your time with decisions and rely on your strategic understanding of ace-king's value to guide your play. This disciplined approach not only mitigates the impact of their aggression, but also positions you to capitalize on their errors. Playing ace-king against aggressive players involves a blend of strategic adjustments and mental fortitude. By identifying frequent three-betters, inducing bluffs, and utilizing four-bet shoves, you can exploit their tendencies while maintaining control over the hand. Post-flop, careful navigation with top pair helps avoid traps and keeps the pot size manageable. Above all, avoiding tilt and staying disciplined ensures that you can handle the pressure and turn their aggression into an advantage. This approach allows you to maximize the potential of ace-king, even in the face of relentless aggression. Playing ace-king against passive opponents provides unique opportunities to maximize value and navigate the game with precision. Passive players, often characterized by their tendency to call rather than raise, present a landscape where ace-king can thrive, particularly when top pair is achieved. Extracting maximum value from these situations requires a keen understanding of their tendencies. When you flop top pair with ace-king, the goal is to build the pot gradually. Betting for value on the flop and turn allows you to capitalize on their inclination to call. By sizing your bets in a way that keeps them engaged, you can extract chips steadily, ensuring that your strong hand is rewarded. Over-bluffing against passive opponents is a common pitfall. These players are less likely to fold, even when faced with significant pressure. Therefore, maintaining a straightforward strategy is often more effective. Instead of attempting elaborate bluffs, focus on value betting when you have a strong hand. This approach minimizes the risk of losing chips to unnecessary bluffs and ensures that your strong holdings, like ace-king with top pair, are given the opportunity to accumulate value. Recognizing the futility of bluffing against players who are prone to calling is an essential adjustment that can significantly impact your bottom line. Thin value betting on the river is a critical skill when playing against calling stations. These players are often willing to call down with marginal hands, providing an opportunity to extract additional value with ace-king. When the board runs out favorably, and you hold top pair, consider making a value bet on the river. The sizing should be such that it entices a call from weaker holdings, maximizing your return. This strategy leverages their calling tendencies, turning their passivity into an advantage for you. The ability to identify and execute thin value bets is a hallmark of effective play against passive opponents. In single-raised pots, ace-king tends to lose less value compared to multi-way scenarios. The reason lies in the controlled nature of these pots, where you can dictate the pace and size of the betting. Against passive players, single-raised pots allow you to maintain the initiative, betting for value when you connect with the board. This control ensures that you can extract value without the complication of multiple opponents, who might dilute your equity. The simplicity of single-raised pots aligns well with the straightforward strategy needed against passive players, allowing ace-king to perform optimally. Adjusting your play to exploit passivity involves a shift in focus towards value extraction. With ace-king, this means prioritizing bets that capitalize on their tendency to call, rather than fold. Avoid the temptation to bluff frequently, as passive players are often more concerned with seeing the showdown than with folding to aggression. Instead, concentrate on building pots with strong hands and making strategic bets that encourage calls from weaker holdings. This approach not only maximizes the potential of ace-king, but also turns the passive nature of your opponents into a consistent source of value. Playing ace-king against passive opponents requires a disciplined approach centered on value extraction. By focusing on building pots with strong hands and avoiding unnecessary bluffs, you can effectively exploit their tendencies. Thin value betting on the river and maintaining control in single-raised pots are key strategies that enhance the performance of ace-king in these scenarios. Understanding and adapting to the passive nature of your opponents allows you to maximize the potential of ace-king, turning their inclination to call into a strategic advantage. Facing short-stacked shoves with ace-king presents both opportunity and risk. When a player with a short stack moves all in, understanding the range of hands they might hold is crucial. Typically, short stacks are more inclined to shove with a wide range of hands, especially as tournament pressure increases. This range often includes weaker aces, Broadway cards, and small to medium pairs. Ace-King, with its high card strength and potential to dominate many of these holdings, is well positioned to call such shoves profitably. Calculating pot odds is essential when deciding whether to call a short stack shove with Ace-King. Pot odds help determine if the call is mathematically justified based on the expected value. To calculate pot odds, compare the amount you need to call with the total pot size, including the shove. If the equity of Ace-King against the shoulder's range exceeds the pot odds, calling becomes a favorable decision. This calculation ensures that you are making informed choices that maximize your expected value over time. Ace-King often dominates many hands within a short stack shove range. For example, when the shover holds a weaker ace, such as Ace-Queen or Ace-Jack, Ace-King is a significant favorite. Similarly, against Broadway cards like King-Queen or Queen-Jack, Ace-King maintains a strong advantage. This domination means that you are not only ahead but also reducing the number of outs available to the opponent. The ability to dominate these ranges makes Ace-King a powerful hand to call with, especially when the pot odds are favorable. However, one must also consider the risks of flipping against small pairs when calling short stack shoves. Against pairs like 2s through 10s, Ace-King is in a classic coin flip situation. While Ace-King has the potential to improve by hitting an ace or king, small pairs have a slight edge pre-flop. This dynamic introduces variance and the possibility of losing the hand, despite having strong equity. Understanding this risk is vital, as it influences the decision-making process, especially in critical tournament stages. Tournament stage considerations play a significant role when facing short stack shoves with Ace-King. Early in a tournament, when the blinds are low, the emphasis may be on survival and chip accumulation. Here, calling with Ace-King against a short stack might be more appealing, given the opportunity to build a stack without risking a significant portion of your chips. As the tournament progresses and the stakes rise, the decision becomes more nuanced. Factors such as payout structure, position, and the relative chip stacks of other players at the table come into play. In late-stage scenarios, preserving your stack can sometimes outweigh the potential gain from calling a short stack shove. When evaluating whether to call a short stack shove with Ace-King, it's crucial to weigh the potential benefits against the inherent risks. The ability of Ace-King to dominate many hands within a shover's range is a significant advantage, but the possibility of flipping against small pairs must be acknowledged. By calculating pot odds and considering the specific tournament context, you can make informed decisions that optimize your strategy and enhance your overall performance. Keeping these factors in mind ensures that your play with Ace-King remains disciplined and strategically sound. In multi-way pots, the dynamics of Ace-King shift significantly due to the presence of multiple opponents. When 3 or more players are involved, the equity of Ace-King tends to dilute. This dilution occurs because the probability of at least one opponent having a stronger hand increases. With more players in the pot, the likelihood of facing sets, 2 pairs, or even straights grows, making it crucial to reassess Ace-King's strength in such situations. Understanding this shift in equity is essential for making informed decisions and avoiding costly mistakes. When considering continuation bets in multi-way pots, Ace-King requires a more cautious approach. In heads-up play, continuation betting is often used to apply pressure and capitalize on fold equity. However, in multi-way scenarios, the effectiveness of a continuation bet diminishes. With multiple players to contend with, the chance that someone has connected with the flop is higher. Therefore, it is important to evaluate the board texture carefully before deciding to continuation bet it. Dry boards with high cards that miss typical calling ranges may still warrant a bet, but coordinated or wet boards often suggest a more conservative approach. Pot control becomes a vital strategy when Ace-King misses the flop in a multi-way pot. By keeping the pot size manageable, you reduce the risk of committing too many chips with a hand that has yet to improve. This strategy involves checking or betting smaller amounts to maintain flexibility and avoid getting trapped in a large pot with just high card strength. When Ace-King fails to connect, exercising pot control allows you to navigate the hand more comfortably, preserving your stack for more favorable situations. Identifying the stronger ranges that call in multi-way pots is crucial for determining the best course of action with Ace-King. Players who call pre-flop raises in multi-way scenarios often possess hands with good implied odds or potential to hit strong flops. These can include suited connectors, small pairs, and Broadway cards. Recognizing these tendencies helps you anticipate the types of hands you might be up against post-flop. Understanding these ranges allows you to better gauge the strength of your hand relative to the board and make more informed decisions. Avoiding traps with Ace-King in multi-way pots is essential, especially when holding just one pair. The presence of multiple opponents increases the likelihood of facing stronger hands, such as sets or two pairs. It's important to remain vigilant and not overcommit to the pot when the board presents potential threats. Exercising caution and being willing to fold when facing significant aggression can save valuable chips. Recognizing when your top pair might be outclassed ensures that you maintain a disciplined approach and protect your stack from unnecessary losses. In summary, playing Ace-King in multi-way pots requires a strategic adjustment to account for the increased complexity and risk. By understanding equity dilution, adjusting continuation bet strategies, and maintaining pot control, you can navigate these challenging situations more effectively. Identifying stronger ranges and avoiding traps with just one pair further enhances your ability to make sound decisions. Keeping these factors in mind ensures that your play with Ace-King remains disciplined and strategically sound, even in the face of multi-way challenges. Ace-King, often referred to as Big Slick, holds a place of reverence in the minds of many poker players. Its allure is undeniable, combining the highest-ranked cards in the deck. However, this hand is frequently overvalued, leading players to treat it with the same reverence as pocket aces. The psychological trap lies in the perceived strength of Ace-King, which, unlike pocket aces, is not a made hand, but a drawing one. This difference is crucial, yet it is often overlooked due to the excitement and potential that Ace-King embodies. One of the most common mistakes players make is overplaying Ace-King pre-flop. The hand's inherent strength can lead to aggressive actions, such as large raises, or even all-in shoves, without considering the context. Many players fall into the trap of believing that Ace-King will always hold up against any two cards, ignoring the fact that it is still vulnerable, especially against pocket pairs. The belief that Ace-King is invincible can lead to significant losses when the hand fails to improve post-flop. Overcommitting with Ace-King on weak boards is another pitfall. When the flop does not provide any improvement, such as hitting an ace or a king, players often continue to bet aggressively. This approach can be costly, especially on dry boards that offer little in terms of drawing potential. The lack of connectivity on the board should signal caution, yet the psychological attachment to Ace-King's perceived strength often overrides logical decision-making. This can result in bloated pots where Ace-King is no longer a favorite, leading to unnecessary chip loss. The illusion of domination against broad ranges further complicates the play of Ace-King. Many players assume that holding Ace-King automatically puts them in a dominant position against a wide variety of hands. While Ace-King does indeed have strong equity against many unpaired hands, it struggles against pocket pairs and coordinated board textures. The assumption of domination can lead to missteps, particularly when facing opponents who are adept at trapping or slow-playing stronger hands. Correcting these misconceptions requires a disciplined approach, grounded in math and analysis. Understanding the equity of ace-king against various ranges is essential. For instance, ace-king has just over 40% equity against pocket queens, highlighting its vulnerability against higher pairs. By studying these odds and incorporating them into decision-making processes, players can develop a more balanced view of ace-king's true strength. Analyzing past hands and reviewing outcomes where ace-king was overplayed can also provide valuable insights. By examining situations where ace-king was treated like pocket aces, players can identify patterns and adjust their strategies accordingly. This analytical approach helps in recognizing when to apply aggression and when to exercise caution, ensuring that ace-king is played optimally rather than emotionally. Ultimately, the psychology of overvaluing ace-king stems from its potential rather than its reality. By embracing a more analytical perspective and acknowledging the hand's limitations, players can mitigate the risks associated with overplaying it. This shift in mindset allows for more strategic play, where ace-king is utilized effectively within the broader context of the game. Ace-king, often a source of excitement, can transform into a trap hand under certain conditions. This occurs when the hand flops top pair, yet remains dominated by stronger holdings such as two-pair or sets. The initial thrill of hitting an ace or a king on the flop can quickly shift to a precarious situation if opponents have connected more favorably with the board. For instance, on a board showing ace-8-5, an opponent holding ace-8 would have two-pair, leaving ace-king in a vulnerable position despite having top pair, top kicker. Recognizing these scenarios requires a keen understanding of opponent tendencies and board textures. In 3-bet pots, the danger of overconfidence with ace-king becomes apparent. Players often assume that the pre-flop aggression with ace-king grants them a strong post-flop advantage. However, this can lead to significant stack loss if not carefully managed. For example, in a 3-bet pot where the flop comes king 9-4, an opponent holding pocket nines would have a set, outmatching top pair. The temptation to continue betting aggressively can result in costly mistakes if the opponent's strength is underestimated. Awareness and caution are essential to avoid overcommitting chips in these situations. Certain board textures exacerbate the risk of overplaying ace-king. Boards that are coordinated or feature multiple high cards can spell trouble. A flop like Queen-Jack-10 offers numerous straight possibilities, where opponents might hold hands like King-Queen or even Ace-Queen, leaving Ace-King trailing. The urge to push forward with bets on such boards, driven by the presence of overcards, can lead to unfavorable outcomes. Recognizing when the board is likely to have hit an opponent's range is crucial to avoid falling into these traps. Reverse implied odds further complicate ace-king's post-flop play. This concept refers to situations where the potential to win a large pot is outweighed by the risk of losing an even larger one. For ace-king, this often occurs when the hand is ahead initially, but is likely to be outdrawn or outmatched by the river. For instance, on a board with low cards, an opponent with a small pocket pair might improve to a set on later streets, turning the tables on ace-king. Recognizing these situations and exercising restraint can prevent unnecessary losses. Disciplined folds are a powerful tool in preventing ace-king from becoming a trap. Knowing when to lay down the hand, even when it feels strong, is a skill that separates seasoned players from novices. If an opponent displays significant aggression on a board where ace-king is only marginally strong, folding can be the best option. This might involve letting go of top pair when faced with a large bet on a wet board, where the likelihood of being outdrawn is high. Such folds, though difficult, preserve chips and prevent deeper entrapment in unfavorable scenarios. In summary, Ace-King's potential to become a trap hand is rooted in overconfidence and misjudgment of board dynamics. Recognizing when top pair is insufficient, especially in the face of probable stronger holdings, is vital. By maintaining discipline and awareness, players can navigate these pitfalls, ensuring that Ace-King remains an asset rather than a liability in their strategic arsenal. Ace-King, with its majestic appearance, often finds itself in the precarious position of facing small pocket pairs pre-flop. This scenario, frequently referred to as a coin flip, highlights the inherent volatility of poker. Despite the allure of Ace-King's high cards, it flips poorly against small pairs. The reason lies in the statistical odds. When Ace-King faces a pair like pocket twos through pocket tens, the pair typically holds a slight edge. This is because the pair is already a made hand, while Ace-King relies on hitting an ace or a king on the board to take the lead. Run-out scenarios often favor small pairs over Ace-King. Consider a typical board run-out, where neither an ace nor a king appears. In such cases, even the smallest pair maintains its strength, while Ace-King remains high card only. Boards that come with low, unconnected cards, such as 7-4-3, or even 10 high boards, can be particularly frustrating for Ace-King. The pair remains in control, and the Ace-King player is left hoping for a favorable turn or river card, which may never materialize. Accepting variance in these coin flip situations is a crucial aspect of poker strategy. Variance is the natural ebb and flow of luck in the game, and it can be challenging to accept emotionally. However, understanding that these situations are part of the game helps in maintaining a balanced mindset. Over a large sample size, the outcomes of these flips should even out, but in the short term, they can swing dramatically in either direction. This understanding is essential for players to avoid frustration and maintain focus on long-term strategy. Tournament play often showcases the heartbreak of Ace-King versus small pairs. A classic example might involve a player going all in with Ace-King against an opponent's pocket fives. As the cards are revealed, the tension builds. The flop, turn, and river are dealt, and if no ace or king appears, the small pair triumphs, sending the Ace-King holder to the rail. Such outcomes are common in tournaments, where players must frequently make these all-in decisions due to rising blinds and antes. These moments can be particularly devastating when they occur deep in a tournament, where the stakes and pressure are high. Adjusting one's mindset to avoid tilt after such flips is crucial. Tilt, the emotional reaction to losing a hand, can lead to poor decision-making in subsequent hands. Recognizing that losing with Ace-King to a small pair is not a personal failure, but rather a statistical occurrence, helps in maintaining composure. Players can remind themselves that they made the correct play based on odds, and that the outcome was simply a result of variance. Developing this resilience is key to long-term success in poker. By understanding the dynamics of Ace-King versus small pairs, players can better prepare themselves for the emotional rollercoaster these hands can bring. Accepting the nature of coin flips, learning from each experience, and maintaining a strategic mindset ensures that Ace-King remains a powerful tool in a player's arsenal, despite the occasional heartbreak it may bring. Ace-King, often referred to as Big Slick, holds a unique position in poker due to its high card strength and drawing potential. When facing pocket pairs pre-flop, Ace-King is typically considered a drawing hand rather than a made one. The pre-flop equity of Ace-King against each pocket pair varies, with Ace-King having approximately 46% equity against small pairs like pocket twos through pocket sixes. As the pairs increase in rank, the equity of Ace-King slightly diminishes. Against middle pairs such as pocket sevens through pocket tens, Ace-King's equity hovers around 43 to 45%. When facing higher pairs like pocket jacks or queens, the equity drops further, generally settling around 35 to 40%. Against the strongest pairs, pocket kings and aces, ace-king's equity is significantly lower, with only about 30% against kings and around 12% against aces. The distinction between suited and offsuit, ace-king also plays a critical role in equity calculations. Suited ace-king holds a slight edge over its offsuit counterpart due to the added flush potential. This additional equity is usually around 2 to 3%, which can make a significant difference in tight situations. The presence of a suited ace-king can shift the dynamics of a hand, providing more opportunities for backdoor flush draws and increasing the overall versatility of post-flop play. Tournament stages influence how ace-king's all-in equity is perceived and utilized. In the early stages of a tournament, when stacks are deep, players might be more conservative with ace-king, opting to play it for value rather than risking an all-in. As the tournament progresses and blinds increase, the value of ace-king in all-in situations grows due to the pressure of rising blinds and the need to accumulate chips. In the late stages, especially near the bubble or final table, ace-king's ability to win crucial flips becomes even more valuable, as players are often forced to make high-risk decisions to advance. Deciding when to shove or call with ace-king depends on several factors, including stack size, position, and opponent tendencies. With a short stack, typically around 20 big blinds or fewer, shoving all in with ace-king is often the optimal play. This move maximizes fold equity and capitalizes on the hand's high card strength. In contrast, with deeper stacks, players might choose to call a raise or even 3-bet, depending on the situation and their read on the opponent. The decision to shove or call also hinges on the strength of the opponent's range and the likelihood of being dominated by stronger hands. Interpreting solver outputs can provide valuable insights into how ace-king performs against various pocket pairs. Solvers analyze millions of scenarios to determine the most profitable plays, often suggesting aggressive lines with ace-king against weaker ranges. When facing a tight opponent, solvers might recommend a more cautious approach, while against loose players, the aggressive shoving of ace-king becomes more favorable. Understanding these outputs helps players make informed decisions about when to push their equity edge with ace-king and when to exercise restraint. By analyzing the pre-flop equity of ace-king versus pocket pairs, players can better navigate the complexities of poker strategy. Recognizing the nuances between suited and offsuit variations, adjusting for tournament stages, and utilizing solver insights are all crucial components in mastering the play of ace-king. This understanding not only enhances strategic decision-making, but also builds confidence in executing plays that maximize ace-king's potential in high-pressure situations. In heads-up play, ace-king gains notable strength due to the reduced number of opponents. The dynamics of heads-up poker mean that hand values increase, as players must often battle with a wider range of holdings. Ace-king stands as a formidable hand in this context, combining high card strength with the potential to dominate many other hands. The absence of multiple opponents reduces the likelihood of facing premium hands like pocket pairs, allowing ace-king to frequently be the best hand pre-flop. Opening ranges in heads-up matches naturally widen, as players need to contest more pots to maintain chip stacks. Ace-king is typically at the top of these opening ranges, often being played aggressively to apply pressure. The strategic advantage of opening with ace-king lies in its ability to make top pair with a strong kicker, as well as its potential to improve to the best hand on later streets. When opening with ace-king in heads-up play, players should focus on extracting value from weaker aces and Broadway hands, which are common in opponents' ranges. The strategy of 3-betting with ace-king in heads-up play is often employed to seize control of the hand. By 3-betting, players can isolate their opponent and take the initiative post-flop. This aggressive approach capitalizes on the strength of ace-king and forces opponents to make difficult decisions with marginal hands. In heads-up scenarios, the ability to apply pressure is crucial, and 3-betting with ace-king serves as a powerful tool to exploit opponents who might be opening with weaker holdings. Value betting with ace-king, when holding top pair, is a key aspect of heads-up strategy. The thinner nature of value betting in heads-up play means that players must be adept at recognizing when their hand is likely to be ahead. Ace-king, when it connects with the board to make top pair, often needs to extract value from hands like middle pair or weaker top pairs. The ability to value bet thinly ensures that players maximize their winnings in situations where they hold the best hand. Ace-king also serves as an effective blocker in heads-up play, allowing players to widen their bluffing ranges. The presence of an ace or king in hand reduces the probability of opponents holding premium combinations like aces or kings. This blocker effect can be leveraged to execute bluffs with increased confidence, as opponents are less likely to call without strong holdings. Understanding how to use ace-king as a blocker can enhance a player's ability to apply pressure and dictate the pace of the game. In heads-up play, the strategic use of ace-king requires a balance between aggression and value extraction. Players must be attuned to the tendencies of their opponent, adjusting their approach based on observed behaviors. The ability to 3-bet effectively, value bet thinly, and utilize blockers are all integral to maximizing the potential of ace-king in heads-up scenarios. By mastering these elements, players can harness the power of ace-king to dominate their opponents and secure victory in one-on-one battles. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, holds a significant edge over ace-queen due to its higher kicker. This domination is most apparent in pre-flop scenarios, where ace-king consistently outperforms ace-queen in terms of equity. When both hands go all in pre-flop, ace-king typically boasts a substantial advantage, often around 70% equity against ace-queen's 30%. This edge is due to the fact that ace-king dominates ace-queen in any situation where the board does not improve ace-queen specifically. The presence of the king kicker means that when an ace appears on the board, ace-king will have the superior top pair, leaving ace-queen in a difficult position. Post-flop, the dynamics between ace-king and ace-queen continue to favor the former, especially on ace-high boards. When the flop reveals an ace, ace-king holds the top pair with the best possible kicker, while ace-queen finds itself outkicked. This situation often leads to ace-queen being in a position where it can lose significant chips if the player with ace-queen does not recognize the domination. The key for the player holding ace-queen is to proceed with caution, understanding that any aggressive action from an opponent likely indicates a stronger ace. In scenarios where the board runs out to form a Broadway straight, both ace-king and ace-queen can end up with the same straight, leading to a chop pot. This occurs when the board shows 10, jack, queen, king, and ace, allowing both hands to share the best possible 5-card combination. While this outcome results in a split pot, it is essential for players to recognize the potential for a chop early in the hand, to avoid overcommitting chips in what will ultimately be a shared outcome. Tournament play often highlights the tension between ace-king and ace-queen, particularly in pivotal moments where players are forced to make high-stakes decisions. For example, in the late stages of a tournament, when blinds and antes are high, ace-king versus ace-queen showdowns can determine the fate of players' stacks. These situations underscore the importance of understanding the equity difference between the two hands. A player holding ace-king in such a spot might choose to push all in, leveraging their equity advantage to apply pressure on opponents with ace-queen, who must decide whether to risk their tournament life. Famous examples from televised tournaments have shown how ace-king can decisively end a player's run when facing ace-queen. The drama of these encounters often revolves around the tension of the flop, turn, and river, with the audience aware of the looming equity disparity. Players who understand the inherent strength of ace-king against ace-queen can use this knowledge to their advantage, making more informed decisions about when to push their chips into the middle and when to exercise restraint. In poker, recognizing the domination of ace-king over ace-queen is a fundamental aspect of strategic play. The ability to identify when you hold the superior hand and act accordingly can lead to more profitable outcomes. This understanding also helps in avoiding costly mistakes when holding ace-queen, as players learn to gauge the strength of their hand relative to potential opponent holdings. By internalizing these dynamics, players enhance their decision-making process, leading to improved results in both cash games and tournaments. When opponents begin to fear ace-king, their tendencies to fold too often become apparent. This can be a valuable observation for a player who holds ace-king. The fear of facing a strong hand like ace-king often causes opponents to overfold, particularly in situations where they are uncertain or wary of committing too many chips. This tendency can be exploited by expanding your 3-bet bluff ranges. By recognizing that opponents are folding too frequently to perceived ace-king aggression, you can incorporate a wider array of hands into your 3-bet strategy. This adjustment allows you to capitalize on their fear, applying pressure with hands that might not traditionally be strong enough to 3-bet, but can still succeed due to the opponent's overly cautious play. Mixing in weaker hands when opponents overfold is another effective strategy. When you notice that your opponents are consistently folding to your raises, it indicates that they are likely giving you credit for having a strong hand like ace-king. In such scenarios, you can safely incorporate a range of weaker hands into your play, knowing that the likelihood of facing resistance is lower. This approach not only allows you to steal pots with suboptimal hands, but also helps to balance your range, making it less predictable for observant opponents. By doing so, you maintain a level of ambiguity that can serve you well in future hands. Exploiting fear to steal blinds and antes becomes a straightforward task when you identify opponents who underdefend against perceived ace-king aggression. In both cash games and tournaments, the ability to pick up blinds and antes uncontested is a valuable tool for chip accumulation. When players are overly concerned about facing ace-king, they tend to fold their marginal holdings more readily. This creates an opportunity for you to raise more frequently, particularly from late positions, where the threat of ace-king is often magnified in the minds of your opponents. The key is to maintain an awareness of table dynamics, adjusting your aggression levels to match the tendencies of those around you. Adjusting to players who underdefend against ace-king requires a keen sense of observation and adaptability. Some players, out of respect or fear for the strength of ace-king, may not defend their blinds as aggressively as they should. This presents an opportunity to open your range and apply pressure, knowing that the likelihood of facing a 3-bet or a call is diminished. However, it's important to remain vigilant and avoid becoming too predictable. Over time, astute opponents may catch on to your strategy and adjust accordingly. Therefore, balancing your approach by occasionally showing down strong hands can reinforce the perception of your range's strength, keeping your opponents guessing. In poker, the perception of ace-king as a dominant hand can shape the behavior of opponents, often leading them to make suboptimal decisions out of fear or caution. By understanding these dynamics and adjusting your ranges accordingly, you can exploit these tendencies to your advantage. The key is to remain adaptable, continuously observing how your opponents respond to your aggression, and making the necessary adjustments to maintain an edge. This strategic flexibility not only enhances your overall game, but also allows you to maximize the value of ace-king and other hands in your arsenal. Tilt is a common phenomenon among poker players, particularly after a significant hand like ace-king fails to hold up. Recognizing the signs of tilt is crucial for maintaining composure and making sound decisions. Common indicators include a noticeable shift in betting patterns, such as increased aggression or reckless play. A player who just lost a big pot with ace-king might start raising more frequently, often with weaker hands, in an attempt to quickly recover their losses. This behavior is often driven by frustration and a desire to regain control, leading to decisions that are not based on logic or strategy. Emotional loss can be a powerful trigger for overaggression. After experiencing the sting of defeat with ace-king, a player might feel compelled to prove themselves, pushing their chips in with less regard for the strength of their hand. This can manifest as frequent all-ins or large, unnecessary bets that are intended to intimidate opponents or force a quick win. However, this over-aggression often backfires, as it is not grounded in the calculated decision-making that poker demands. Instead, it opens the player up to exploitation by observant opponents who can capitalize on these predictable patterns. Tracking opponent play shifts after an ace-king bust is an effective strategy for gaining an edge. When a player loses a significant pot with ace-king, their subsequent actions can provide valuable insights into their mental state. Look for deviations from their usual play style, such as sudden increases in bet sizes, or a tendency to call more often than usual. These shifts can indicate that the player is on tilt and may be more susceptible to making mistakes. By paying close attention to these changes, you can adjust your own strategy to exploit their weakened mental state. Exploiting tilt ranges involves tightening up your own play, while your opponent is emotionally compromised. When a player is on tilt, they are likely to widen their range, playing hands they might normally fold. This creates an opportunity for you to tighten your own range, ensuring that you only enter pots with strong holdings. By doing so, you increase the likelihood of having the best hand when the chips go in, allowing you to capitalize on your opponent's loose play. This approach not only protects your stack, but also positions you to take advantage of their mistakes. Protecting your own mindset after losing with ace-king is essential for long-term success. It's important to recognize the emotional impact of such losses and take steps to mitigate their effects. One effective technique is to take a short break after a significant loss, allowing yourself time to cool down and regain focus. Deep breathing exercises can also help to calm the mind and reduce stress, enabling you to approach the next hand with a clear head. Additionally, maintaining a long-term perspective is crucial. Understanding that variance is an inherent part of poker can help you accept losses without letting them affect your overall game plan. By cultivating emotional resilience and discipline, you can ensure that a single setback with ace-king does not derail your entire session. Resetting mentally after experiencing a disappointing hand with ace-king is a crucial skill for any poker player. The immediate aftermath of such a loss can stir a mix of emotions, from frustration to disbelief. To regain composure, it is important to step back and allow yourself a moment to process the outcome. Taking a few deep breaths can help calm the mind and reduce the adrenaline that often follows a significant hand. This simple act of breathing deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth, can slow the heart rate and bring a sense of calmness, allowing you to approach the next hand with a clear head. Avoiding revenge play is another critical aspect of maintaining composure. The temptation to target the player who just won the pot can be strong, but it often leads to poor decisions. Revenge play is driven by emotion rather than strategy, and it can cause you to deviate from your usual game plan. Instead of focusing on getting back at a specific opponent, shift your attention to playing solid, disciplined poker. Remember that each hand is independent, and letting go of past losses is key to making rational decisions moving forward. Using hand review as a tool for perspective can be incredibly beneficial after a tough loss with ace-king. Once the session is over, take the time to analyze the hand in detail, Look at the factors that led to the outcome, such as your position, the board texture, and the actions of your opponents. Reviewing the hand with a clear mind can provide valuable insights and help you identify any mistakes or areas for improvement. This process not only aids in learning, but also reinforces the importance of maintaining a strategic approach, even in the face of setbacks. During live play, incorporating breathing and focus techniques can help maintain emotional balance. Practice mindfulness by staying present and concentrating on the current hand rather than dwelling on past losses. Visualization exercises, where you imagine yourself playing with confidence and clarity, can enhance focus and reduce anxiety. These techniques promote a steady mindset, enabling you to make decisions based on logic and probability rather than emotion. The long-term benefits of cultivating emotional discipline with Ace-King are significant. Developing the ability to remain calm and composed, regardless of the outcome, contributes to a more consistent and successful poker game. Emotional discipline helps prevent tilt, which can lead to a cascade of poor decisions and further losses. By mastering your emotions, you increase your chances of making optimal plays and capitalizing on opportunities as they arise. This discipline also extends beyond poker, fostering a mindset that can be applied to other areas of life, where decision-making under pressure is required. Incorporating these strategies into your poker routine can transform how you handle the inevitable ups and downs of the game. By resetting mentally after disappointments, avoiding revenge play, and using hand reviews to gain perspective, you build a foundation of emotional resilience. Breathing and focus techniques further enhance your ability to stay centered during play. Over time, these practices lead to a more balanced approach to poker, where each hand is played with clarity and purpose, regardless of the outcome. Reviewing hands where Ace-King was involved is an essential practice for any poker player aiming to refine their strategy and improve their game. The process begins with the use of poker software, which allows players to revisit each hand in detail. This software can provide a comprehensive overview of the hand, including the position, stack sizes, and actions taken by all players involved. By analyzing these factors, players can gain a deeper understanding of their decision-making process and identify areas where they may have deviated from optimal play. This is particularly important for hands involving Ace-King, as it is a hand that often requires nuanced decision-making. One of the primary goals when reviewing Ace-King hands is to identify leaks in preflop aggression or passivity. Ace-King is a strong starting hand, but it is not a made hand, which means it often benefits from preflop aggression to maximize fold equity and define the opponent's range. However, over-aggression can lead to bloated pots and difficult post-flop decisions if the board does not improve your hand. Conversely, being too passive with Ace-King can result in missed opportunities to build the pot or take down the blinds and antes. By reviewing your hands, you can assess whether your preflop strategy with Ace-King is balanced and effective. Studying solver outputs for Ace-King hands is another critical component of the review process. Solvers use complex algorithms to determine the most optimal plays in various situations, taking into account factors such as position, stack depth, and opponent tendencies. By comparing your decisions with solver recommendations, you can identify discrepancies and adjust your strategy accordingly. This can be particularly enlightening for hands where you are unsure of the best course of action. Solvers can provide a baseline for decision-making, helping you understand when to be aggressive, when to call, and when to fold with Ace-King. Categorizing win-loss results by stack depth can provide valuable insights into how Ace-King performs under different conditions. Stack depth significantly influences the way Ace-King should be played. With deeper stacks, there is more room for post-flop maneuvering, while shorter stacks often necessitate more straightforward, aggressive play. By analyzing your results at various stack depths, you can identify patterns and adapt your strategy to maximize your equity in each scenario. This categorization helps in understanding the nuances of ace-king play and allows for targeted improvements in your game. Building a database of ace-king lessons over time is a powerful tool for long-term improvement. Each session review adds to your knowledge base, allowing you to track your progress and refine your strategy continuously. By keeping detailed records of your ace-king hands, including the decisions made and the outcomes, you create a resource that you can refer back to as you encounter similar situations in the future. This database serves as a personalized guide, highlighting both successful strategies and areas that require further attention. Through consistent review and analysis, players can develop a more disciplined and informed approach to playing ace-king. The insights gained from software reviews, solver studies, and result categorization contribute to a deeper understanding of the hand's potential and pitfalls. Over time, this practice not only enhances your ace-king play but also strengthens your overall poker strategy, leading to more confident and profitable decisions at the table. In the high-stakes environment of poker tournaments, like the World Series of Poker, WSOP, and the World Poker Tour, WPT, ace-king frequently takes center stage. This hand, often referred to as Big Slick, has played a pivotal role in many memorable tournament hands. Analyzing these hands offers valuable insights into how professionals navigate the complexities of tournament play with ace-king. One such instance occurred during the WSOP main event, where a well-known player found himself in a critical situation holding ace-king. The blinds were escalating, and the pressure was palpable. With a sizable stack, he opened from early position, aiming to leverage the strength of his hand. However, a savvy opponent in the cutoff, recognizing the potential for aggression, decided to 3-bet, putting the original raiser in a tough spot. Faced with this aggression, the player holding ace-king had to decide whether to call 4-bet or fold. The decision was not just about the cards, but also about the dynamics at the table. The opponent's 3-bet range was likely wide, given the position and the tournament stage. Understanding this, the player opted to 4-bet, applying pressure and attempting to take control of the hand. This move demonstrated a keen awareness of range dynamics, as the 4-bet served both as a value play and a bluff, capitalizing on the fold equity ace-king can generate. In another famous WPT hand, a professional faced a similar decision, but chose a different path. With ace-king in the small blind, and facing a raise from the button, the player decided to call rather than 3-bet. This decision was influenced by stack sizes and the perceived aggression of the button raiser. By calling, the player aimed to keep the pot manageable while still holding a strong hand. The flop came down with low cards, missing the ace-king entirely. Here the player demonstrated restraint by checking, allowing the button to continue betting. This check call line allowed the player to control the pot size and keep the range of the opponent wide, setting up potential opportunities to capitalize on later streets. These examples highlight the adaptability required when playing ace-king in tournament settings. Professionals often adjust their ranges based on the specific circumstances of the hand, including position, stack sizes, and opponent tendencies. In televised games, where every decision is scrutinized, the pressure to make the right play is immense. Yet, even the best players can falter. There have been instances where ace-king was overplayed, leading to unnecessary losses. One notable example involved a player who, holding ace-king, decided to 4-bet all-in preflop against a tight opponent. The opponent called with pocket aces, leaving the player with slim chances of winning. This mistake underscores the importance of accurately assessing opponents' ranges and avoiding overcommitting with ace-king without sufficient information. The lessons gleaned from these tournament hands are applicable to modern play. They emphasize the importance of flexibility and the need to adapt strategies based on evolving game dynamics. Ace-King, while powerful, is not invincible, and understanding its strengths and limitations is crucial. Players can learn from the successes and errors of professionals by studying how they handle Ace-King under pressure. This knowledge can guide decisions in similar situations, helping players to refine their approach and improve their overall performance in both tournament and cash game settings. Ace-King, with its regal allure, has cemented its place in poker history through a series of iconic victories and unforgettable moments. As a hand often referred to as Big Slick, it has been at the center of many dramatic tournament finales, where its potential to dominate and its inherent risks intertwine to create legendary outcomes. One such memorable moment occurred during the World Series of Poker in 2003. In the final hand, Chris Moneymaker held Ace-King against Sam Farha's suited Queen-Jack. The board ran out in Moneymaker's favor, cementing his status as a poker legend and igniting the poker boom, a testament to Ace-King's ability to secure monumental victories. In another iconic showdown, at the European Poker Tour in Monte Carlo, a player found himself short-stacked at the final table, facing elimination. Holding Ace-King, he went all in against a formidable opponent with pocket tens. The tension was palpable as the community cards were dealt. The flop and turn provided no help, but the river delivered an ace, turning the tide and propelling the player to a stunning comeback victory. This moment, broadcast to millions, showcased Ace-King's potential to reverse fortunes in the blink of an eye, etching itself into poker folklore. Ace-King has also been the catalyst for thrilling comebacks in high-stakes environments. Consider the story of a seasoned pro at the World Poker Tour, who found himself on the brink of elimination. With dwindling chips, he pushed all in with Ace-King against an opponent holding pocket queens. The flop brought an ace, and the board ran out clean, allowing him to double up and eventually claim the title. This victory, fueled by Ace-King's strength, demonstrated the hand's ability to change the course of a tournament, reinforcing its legendary status. Broadcast moments have further highlighted Ace-King's triumphs, capturing the imagination of poker enthusiasts worldwide. In one televised event, a player facing a critical decision opted to shove all-in pre-flop with Ace-King. The opponent called with pocket jacks, setting the stage for a classic showdown. The flop and turn were uneventful, but the river revealed a king, sparking a chorus of cheers from the audience. Such moments, immortalized on screen, underscore Ace-King's dramatic flair and its capacity to deliver heart-stopping victories. Ace-King's place in poker lore is not solely due to its successes, but also its role in shaping the narrative of the game. Its dual nature as both a powerful hand and a potential trap creates a dynamic that players must navigate with skill and intuition. This complexity has led to countless stories of triumph and heartbreak, each contributing to the rich tapestry of poker history. Whether it is a final hand sealing a tournament win or a pivotal all-in that shifts the momentum, Ace-King continues to captivate players and spectators alike. The hand's legendary status is further solidified by its frequent appearances in pivotal moments that define careers and tournaments. It embodies the essence of poker, the balance between risk and reward, the thrill of the unknown, and the pursuit of glory. As players sit at the felt, with Ace-King in hand, they are reminded of its storied past and the potential for greatness it holds. In this way, Ace-King transcends its role as a mere combination of cards, becoming a symbol of the game's enduring allure and the dreams it inspires. Ace-King, often revered as a powerful starting hand in Texas Hold'em, is surrounded by several misconceptions that can mislead even experienced players. One prevalent myth is that Ace-King is a guaranteed winning hand. While it is indeed a strong starting hand, it is not invincible. Ace-King is a drawing hand, meaning it relies on the community cards to improve. Unlike pocket aces or kings, which are made hands, Ace-King needs the board to cooperate to realize its full potential. Players must remember that while Ace-King is formidable, it does not guarantee victory and requires strategic play to maximize its value. Another common myth is the belief that Ace-King should always go all in pre-flop. This aggressive approach can be tempting, especially when facing opponents who might fold to such pressure. However, going all in with Ace-King pre-flop is not always the optimal play. The decision to shove should be based on several factors, including stack sizes, opponent tendencies, and position. In tournaments, for instance, the stage of play and the pressure of the blinds can influence whether an all-in move is appropriate. In cash games, where stack depths are typically larger, a more nuanced approach may be necessary. Blindly shoving with Ace-King can lead to unnecessary risk, particularly if you run into a stronger hand like pocket aces or kings. A further misconception is that suited Ace-King is vastly stronger than its offsuit counterpart. While having suited cards does increase the hand's potential by allowing for flush draws, the overall equity difference between suited and offsuit Ace-King is not as significant as some might think. Suited Ace-King does have the added benefit of backdoor flush possibilities, which can provide additional outs in certain situations. However, this does not drastically alter the fundamental strength of the hand. Both suited and offsuit Ace-King require careful consideration of the board and opponent actions to be played effectively. There is also a myth that Ace-King plays poorly post-flop. This belief stems from the hand's reliance on connecting with the board to improve. However, Ace-King can be quite effective post-flop, especially when it hits top pair with a strong kicker. The key is to manage pot sizes and leverage position to control the action. When Ace-King misses the flop, it can still be used as a bluffing tool, particularly if you hold blockers to potential strong hands your opponents might have. The ability to adapt your strategy based on the board texture and opponent tendencies is crucial in maximizing Ace-King's post-flop potential. The reality is that Ace-King's value is highly dependent on context and discipline. Understanding when to apply pressure and when to exercise caution is essential. The hand's strength lies in its versatility and the ability to adapt to different situations. Effective players will evaluate their position, the tendencies of their opponents, and the specific dynamics of the game to make informed decisions with Ace-King. By dispelling these myths and approaching Ace-King with a strategic mindset, players can harness its power while avoiding common pitfalls. The hand's true strength emerges when it is played with awareness and an understanding of the broader game context. Ace-King, often called Big Slick, is a hand that many new players find both exciting and daunting. Its potential is significant, yet it requires a keen understanding of its nature to play effectively. When teaching beginners about Ace-King, it is important to explain its equity without overselling its strength. Ace-King is a drawing hand, meaning it needs the community cards to connect for its full power to unfold. Unlike pocket pairs, Ace-King does not start as a made hand. Its equity against other hands can vary greatly depending on the situation. For instance, against a random hand, Ace-King might have favorable odds, but against pocket pairs, its chances of winning can drop significantly unless it improves post-flop. This understanding helps new players realize that while Ace-King is strong, it is not invincible. The differences between tournaments and cash games further influence how Ace-King should be played. In tournaments, the value of Ace-King often increases due to the pressure of rising blinds and the need to accumulate chips. The all-in potential of Ace-King becomes more attractive in these scenarios, especially when the stack sizes are shallow. In cash games, however, where stacks are typically deeper, the approach needs to be more measured. Here, Ace-King can be used to build pots pre-flop, but requires careful navigation post-flop, especially if the board does not improve the hand. Teaching beginners these distinctions helps them adapt their strategies according to the format they are playing. Patience is a crucial lesson for beginners, learning to play Ace-King. The excitement of holding such a strong hand can lead to overzealous actions, but patience often pays off. Waiting for the right spots to apply pressure or to fold when the situation calls for it is key. New players should learn to assess the board texture and opponents' actions before committing too many chips. This patience ensures that they do not overcommit to a hand that might not be the best by the river. Showing why patience matters with Big Slick can prevent costly mistakes and encourage a more strategic approach. There are common beginner-friendly mistakes to avoid with Ace-King. One frequent error is overvaluing the hand pre-flop and committing too many chips without proper consideration of opponents' ranges. Another mistake is failing to recognize when Ace-King should be folded post-flop if the board does not favor it. Beginners might also misplay Ace-King by not adjusting their strategy based on position. Playing Ace-King from early position requires more caution compared to late position, where its potential can be maximized through aggressive play. Highlighting these pitfalls can help new players avoid them and improve their overall game. Building confidence without encouraging over-aggression is essential for beginners handling Ace-King. Confidence comes from understanding the hand's strengths and weaknesses and learning to leverage its potential effectively. Encouraging new players to review their hands and learn from each session can build this confidence. However, it is important to ensure that this confidence does not translate into reckless play. Emphasizing disciplined play and thoughtful decision-making helps beginners harness Ace-King's power without falling into the trap of over-aggression. By focusing on these aspects, new players can develop a balanced approach to playing Ace-King, setting a solid foundation for their poker journey. Ace-King, a formidable starting hand in Texas Hold'em, demands patience and strategic foresight to unlock its true potential. The allure of Ace-King can lead players to act hastily, but understanding when to wait is crucial. Patience, in this context, means waiting for the right opportunities to shove all in, particularly in scenarios where the dynamics of the game favor such a move. For instance, late in a tournament, when blinds are high and stacks are shallow, Ace-King can be a powerful tool for accumulating chips. Here, the potential to push all in and apply pressure on opponents can be highly profitable, especially when they are hesitant to call without premium holdings. In contrast, patience is also about knowing when to fold Ace-King, particularly in situations influenced by the independent chip model, ICM. ICM calculations can alter hand values significantly, especially near the money bubble or at final tables. In these spots, preserving your chip stack can be more valuable than risking it with Ace-King against potential stronger holdings. Folding in such situations may seem counterintuitive, but it often preserves your tournament life, allowing you to capitalize on better opportunities later. Another aspect of patience is refraining from forcing action when the board does not favor Ace-King. It is important to recognize when the flop, turn, or river fails to improve your hand. In such cases, continuing to bet aggressively can lead to unnecessary chip loss. Instead, exercising restraint and being willing to check or fold can save chips for more favorable situations. This disciplined approach prevents overcommitting to a hand that, despite its initial strength, may not be best by the showdown. The long-term benefits of disciplined play with Ace-King are significant. Players who learn to exercise patience often find themselves making deeper runs in tournaments and maintaining steadier results in cash games. This discipline helps in avoiding the pitfalls of variance and reduces the emotional swings that come with poker. By consistently making well-considered decisions, players can build a solid foundation for their overall game, leading to more consistent success over time. Case studies of successful players often highlight the importance of patience with ace-king. For instance, numerous tournament scenarios show players folding ace-king in precarious spots, only to find themselves in more advantageous situations later. These decisions, rooted in patience and discipline, often lead to tournament victories or deep runs. By analyzing these scenarios, players can learn the value of waiting for the right moment to act, rather than succumbing to the temptation of ace-king's initial allure. In summary, patience is a key virtue when playing ace-king. It involves waiting for the right shoving opportunities, knowing when to fold in ICM-heavy spots, and refraining from forcing action when the board is unfavorable. The long-term benefits of disciplined play with ace-king are undeniable, leading to more consistent results and deeper tournament runs. By studying case studies of successful ace-king strategies, players can internalize the lessons of patience and apply them to their own game, ultimately improving their overall poker prowess. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, serves as an excellent tool for honing discipline in poker, particularly in the realm of pre-flop decision-making. This hand, while powerful, is not invincible, and understanding when to fold it pre-flop is an essential skill. Practicing pre-flop fold discipline with ace-king involves assessing the strength of your opponent's ranges and the context of the game. In situations where a tight player raises from an early position, folding ace-king can be the correct play. This decision may seem counterintuitive given ace-king's potential, but it demonstrates a disciplined approach that prioritizes long-term success over short-term gains. Managing bet sizing is another critical aspect of disciplined play with ace-king. Pre-flop, the size of your raise or call should reflect your strategic objectives. For instance, when opening the pot with ace-king, a standard raise size can help control the pot and maintain flexibility post-flop. In contrast, when facing a 3-bet, the decision to call or 4-bet should be informed by your stack size, the tendencies of your opponent, and your position. A well-calibrated bet size can prevent the pot from becoming unwieldy, allowing you to navigate post-flop scenarios with greater ease and confidence. Avoiding tilt after losing with ace-king is crucial for maintaining discipline. Poker is a game of variance, and even premium hands like ace-king will not always hold up. When a promising hand fails to deliver, it is easy to fall into the trap of emotional decision-making. However, recognizing the role of variance and maintaining a calm demeanor can prevent tilt from affecting subsequent hands. This mental fortitude is built through experience and reflection, allowing you to approach each new hand with a clear mind, free from the lingering effects of past disappointments. Reviewing ace-king hands after a session is an invaluable exercise for discipline training. By analyzing the decisions made with ace-king, you can identify areas for improvement and reinforce positive habits. Software tools and hand history reviews can provide insights into whether your pre-flop actions were optimal given the circumstances. This reflective practice helps in understanding the nuances of ace-king play and ensures that lessons learned are applied in future games. Over time, this process builds a foundation of disciplined play that extends beyond ace-king to other aspects of poker strategy. Disciplined play with ace-king enhances your overall game by fostering a mindset that values strategic thinking and long-term planning. By consistently making well-considered decisions with ace-king, you develop a habit of evaluating situations objectively, rather than relying solely on the perceived strength of your hand. This approach encourages a deeper understanding of poker dynamics and helps in constructing balanced ranges, defending against aggressive opponents, and exploiting passive ones. As you internalize these disciplined practices, your overall game improves, leading to more consistent results and a greater appreciation for the strategic depth of poker. Through these disciplined practices, Ace-King becomes more than just a hand. It transforms into a tool for personal growth in the game of poker. By focusing on pre-flop fold discipline, managing bet sizing, avoiding tilt, and reviewing hands, you cultivate a mindset that is resilient and adaptable. This disciplined approach not only enhances your play with Ace-King, but also contributes to a well-rounded poker strategy that can withstand the challenges of variance and competition. Ace-King, often dubbed Big Slick, holds a prominent place in poker due to its potential strength. However, understanding the math behind its equity is crucial for leveraging its full potential. Pre-flop, Ace-King is a strong drawing hand, but not a made hand like pocket pairs. Against common opponent ranges, Ace-King typically holds a solid equity edge over weaker hands and unpaired broadways. For instance, against a range of lower-suited connectors or weaker aces, Ace-King often stands as a favorite. However, when facing pocket pairs, the scenario changes. Against middle pairs like pocket eights or nines, Ace-King is often a coin flip situation, with the equity hovering around 50%. Against premium pairs such as aces or kings, its equity drops significantly, making it an underdog in these matchups. Recognizing these odds helps players make informed pre-flop decisions, such as whether to raise, call, or fold based on the action and opponent tendencies. As the hand progresses to the flop, the equity of Ace-King can shift dramatically, depending on the board texture. Flopping an ace or a king significantly boosts the hand's strength, often giving it top pair with top kicker, which is a strong position against most ranges. On dry boards, where few draws are possible, Ace-King maintains its equity advantage. However, on coordinated boards with potential straight or flush draws, the hand's equity can decrease if it doesn't connect. Understanding these shifts is vital for deciding whether to continue aggression or adopt a more cautious approach. Calculating post-flop equity involves considering the number of outs that improve Ace-King against an opponent's likely holdings. For example, on a board with a flush draw, holding Ace-King with one of those suits provides additional equity through backdoor flush possibilities. Equity realization is another key concept when playing Ace-King. This refers to the percentage of equity a hand actually realizes by showdown, which can be less than the raw equity due to factors like position, opponent skill, and board runouts. Ace-King tends to realize its equity well in heads-up pots due to its high card strength and drawing potential. However, in multi-way pots, its equity realization can suffer as the likelihood of one or more opponents hitting stronger hands increases. Players must weigh these factors when deciding how aggressively to play Ace-King, particularly in situations where they may face multiple opponents. Solver outputs provide valuable insights into optimal play with Ace-King across various stack depths. Solvers consider a wide range of variables, including bet sizes, stack sizes, and opponent ranges, to determine the most profitable lines. At deeper stack depths, solvers often recommend a balanced approach, mixing aggressive actions like 3-bets and 4-bets with more conservative plays like calls, depending on the situation. As stack sizes decrease, solvers may suggest more aggressive pre-flop strategies, using Ace-King as a strong candidate for shoves to maximize fold equity and capitalize on its raw strength. By studying solver outputs, players can refine their strategies, understanding when to push the envelope with Ace-King and when to exercise caution. Equity knowledge informs practical play by providing a framework for decision-making. Knowing the odds and how they shift through the hand allows players to make calculated risks, balancing aggression with caution based on the situation. This understanding helps in constructing balanced ranges, where Ace-King can serve as both a value hand and a bluff catcher, depending on the context. By integrating equity calculations into their strategy, players can avoid common pitfalls like overvaluing ace-king in unfavorable situations or missing opportunities to apply pressure when the odds are in their favor. This mathematical approach to poker enhances not only the play of ace-king, but also the overall strategic depth of a player's game. Balancing poker ranges with ace-king involves a nuanced understanding of its role in both 3-bet and 4-bet scenarios. Ace-king, whether suited or offsuit, provides a versatile tool for constructing balanced ranges. In 3-bet situations, ace-king often serves as a cornerstone of your range, offering both value and the potential for bluffing. When you 3-bet with ace-king, you are not only playing for value, but also leveraging the hand's ability to dominate many weaker holdings. This dual purpose helps maintain a balanced range that opponents find difficult to exploit. By including ace-king in your 3-bet range, you ensure that your aggression is not solely reliant on premium pairs, which makes your overall strategy more unpredictable. In 4-bet scenarios, the balance shifts slightly, depending on whether you're holding ace-king suited or offsuit. Suited ace-king tends to carry more equity due to its flush potential, making it a stronger candidate for aggressive 4-bets. This added equity allows you to apply pressure on opponents who might be overplaying their hands. Offsuit ace-king, while still strong, requires a more calculated approach. It can be included in your 4-bet range, but with a greater emphasis on fold equity and position. Balancing these two versions of ace-king in your 4-bet strategy prevents opponents from easily reading your hand strength based solely on your 4-bet actions. Protecting your continuation bet, ranges with ace-king high, is another critical aspect of balance. When you co-bet with ace-king high on certain board textures, you maintain the integrity of your range, ensuring that opponents cannot exploit you by assuming you only so-bet with made hands. This approach keeps your opponents guessing, as they must consider the possibility that you are c-betting with both strong hands and draws. By incorporating ace-king into your c-bet range, you create a balanced strategy that forces opponents to play more straightforwardly, reducing their ability to counter your aggression effectively. The value-to-bluff ratio involving ace-king is an essential consideration for maintaining balance. When constructing your ranges, it's crucial to determine how often you are using ace-king as a value hand versus a bluff. This ratio should be adjusted based on opponent tendencies and table dynamics. Against tighter players, you might lean more towards value, while against looser opponents, incorporating more bluffs can be effective. Striking the right balance ensures that your opponents cannot easily categorize your hand strength, allowing you to extract maximum value or induce folds when necessary. Achieving balance with ace-king prevents exploitation in tough games, where skilled opponents are constantly adjusting to your strategies. By integrating ace-king into both your value and bluff ranges, you create a dynamic strategy that adapts to changing game conditions. This adaptability is key in preventing opponents from gaining an edge over you. In games where players are attentive and capable of making adjustments, maintaining a balanced approach with ace-king ensures that you remain a step ahead, leveraging the hand's inherent strength while minimizing the risk of being outplayed. This strategy not only enhances your use of ace-king, but also elevates your overall poker game, providing a solid foundation for success in competitive environments. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, is a hand that offers potential and promise in the game of poker. It is a hand that embodies both strength and uncertainty, demanding a player's trust in its potential, while navigating the inherent variance of poker. In the context of all-ins, ace-king presents a unique challenge. While it is not a made hand like pocket pairs, its high card strength and drawing potential make it a formidable contender. However, players must accept that variance is an integral part of the game, particularly when committing chips with ace-king in all-in situations. Understanding that even well-played hands can result in unfavorable outcomes is crucial for maintaining composure and focus. Trusting the equity of ace-king is essential, even when outcomes do not align with expectations. The hand's equity against a wide range of opponents is typically strong, offering a solid chance of winning against many holdings. Yet poker is a game of probabilities, not certainties. There will be times when ace-king falls short, despite being the statistical favorite. It is in these moments that a player must rely on their understanding of equity and the long-term benefits of making mathematically sound decisions. By trusting the process and the inherent strength of ace-king, players can avoid the pitfalls of results-oriented thinking and maintain a steady course through the ups and downs of the game. Avoiding fear-based folds with ace-king is another critical aspect of maximizing its potential. Fear can lead to overly cautious play, resulting in missed opportunities and reduced profitability. When faced with aggressive actions from opponents, it is important to evaluate the situation based on logic and analysis rather than emotion. Ace-king, while not invincible, often warrants a strong response, especially in scenarios where fold equity and drawing potential are significant. Allowing fear to dictate decisions can lead to folding a hand that has substantial value, thereby undermining the strategic advantage that ace-king provides. There are times when solver-approved plays with ace-king require a leap of confidence. Solvers, with their advanced calculations and simulations, often recommend lines that may seem counterintuitive or aggressive. These recommendations are based on a deep understanding of game theory and optimal play. Trusting these solver-approved strategies can be challenging, especially when they involve high-risk maneuvers. However, embracing these strategies can lead to improved outcomes over the long run. Confidence in these plays comes from recognizing the sound mathematical foundation upon which they are built and the potential for positive expected value. Consistent execution with ace-king teaches valuable lessons about discipline and strategic thinking. By repeatedly playing ace-king, according to sound principles, players develop a deeper understanding of its strengths and limitations. This consistency helps in refining decision-making skills and building a resilient mindset. Over time, players learn to appreciate the nuances of ace-king, such as when to apply pressure, when to call, and when to fold. These lessons extend beyond ace-king, enriching a player's overall approach to the game and fostering a more comprehensive understanding of poker strategy. Through the lens of ace-king, players gain insight into the delicate balance of aggression and caution that defines successful poker play. The hand serves as a reminder that poker is a game of skill, patience, and calculated risks. By trusting in the potential of ace-king and embracing the lessons it imparts, players can enhance their strategic acumen and enjoy greater success at the tables. Variance is an integral part of poker and a defining factor in the long-term results of playing ace-king. This hand, often seen as a cornerstone in a player's arsenal, embodies the ebb and flow of poker variance more than many others. Ace-king is not a made hand, but its potential is vast, offering the promise of top pair, or even a straight or flush. Despite this potential, the reality of variance means that ace-king will not always hold up against opponents' holdings, especially when facing pocket pairs. Understanding and accepting this volatility is crucial for maintaining emotional balance and strategic clarity at the tables. Coin flips are a fundamental aspect of poker, particularly when playing ace-king. These situations arise when ace-king is up against lower pocket pairs, where the outcome is nearly 50-50. Embracing these coin flips as an unavoidable part of poker reality is essential. While the immediate results of a coin flip may not always be favorable, over time these situations tend to balance out. The key is to recognize that each coin flip is just one instance in a much larger sequence of hands. By focusing on the long-term probabilities, rather than short-term outcomes, players can maintain a more stable mindset and avoid the emotional roller coaster that often accompanies variance. Accepting downswings with ace-king requires mental fortitude and strategic resilience. Downswings are inevitable in poker, and they can be particularly pronounced when a hand like ace-king fails to connect over a series of hands. Developing mental strategies to cope with these periods is vital. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and focusing on the process rather than the results can help players navigate downswings more effectively. By maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, players can avoid the pitfalls of tilt and make more rational decisions, even when variance seems to be working against them. Reviewing hand samples is an effective way to normalize variance and gain perspective on ace-king's performance. By analyzing a large number of hands, players can identify patterns and trends that might not be apparent in the heat of the moment. This review process helps to contextualize individual outcomes within the broader framework of probability and expected value. By understanding the frequency with which ace-king wins or loses in various scenarios, players can develop a more realistic expectation of its performance and adjust their strategies accordingly. This analytical approach not only enhances strategic depth, but also reinforces confidence in decision-making. Growth in poker often comes from understanding and embracing ace-king's volatility. By accepting that variance is a natural part of the game, players can learn to appreciate the lessons it offers. Each hand of ace-king, whether it results in a win or a loss, provides valuable insights into game dynamics and personal tendencies. Embracing this volatility with a calm and measured approach allows players to refine their skills and develop a more nuanced understanding of poker strategy. Over time, this growth leads to improved performance and a more resilient mindset, capable of withstanding the ups and downs that define the game. In summary, variance is an ever-present force in poker, and ace-king is a prime example of its influence. By embracing the inherent uncertainty of this hand, players can cultivate a mindset that balances confidence with caution. Through mental discipline, strategic analysis, and a willingness to learn from each hand, players can turn the challenges of variance into opportunities for growth and development. Ace-king, often referred to as Big Slick, is a hand that sits at the intersection of potential and uncertainty. It is not a made hand like pocket pairs, yet it carries the promise of significant strength. The strategic lessons learned from playing ace-king are numerous and apply across a wide array of situations. Understanding these lessons can help players achieve a delicate balance between risk and caution. Ace-king is a drawing hand preflop, which means it requires the right conditions to realize its full potential. Players must be adept at navigating these situations, recognizing when to apply pressure and when to exercise restraint. This balance is crucial in poker, where the ability to manage risk while capitalizing on opportunities defines success. The principles of playing ace-king extend beyond this specific hand and can be applied to other starting hands. The decision-making process involved in playing ace-king, whether to raise, call, or fold, teaches players to assess their position, the dynamics of the table, and their opponent's tendencies. These skills are transferable to other hands, allowing players to make more informed decisions across the board. By mastering the nuances of ace-king, players develop a deeper understanding of poker strategy, which enhances their overall gameplay. This mastery comes from studying ace-king in various contexts, from deep stacked cash games to the pressure-filled stages of a tournament. Ace-king also promotes a long-term mindset shift. Players learn to focus on the bigger picture, understanding that individual outcomes are less important than the overall strategy. This mindset is essential for maintaining emotional equilibrium in poker, where variance can lead to significant swings in fortune. By approaching each hand with a focus on the process rather than the result, players can remain calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. This perspective allows for continuous improvement and adaptation, key components of long-term success in poker. Studying Ace-King deeply offers insights that improve overall poker skill. The hand's complexity requires players to consider a multitude of factors, such as position, stack sizes, and opponent behavior. By analyzing these elements, players gain a more comprehensive understanding of the game. This in-depth study fosters a strategic mindset that is applicable to all areas of poker. Players who invest time in understanding Ace-King find that their decision-making improves across the board, leading to more consistent results. This dedication to study and analysis pays dividends over time, as players become more adept at navigating the complexities of poker. The lessons learned from Ace-King are not confined to the poker table. They teach players valuable life skills, such as patience, discipline, and resilience. These qualities are essential for success in any endeavor, and poker provides a unique platform for developing them. By approaching each hand with a thoughtful and measured strategy, players cultivate a mindset that is both analytical and adaptive. This mindset is beneficial in poker and in life, where the ability to balance risk and reward is crucial. Ace-King, with its blend of potential and uncertainty, serves as a powerful teacher. The strategic insights gained from playing this hand extend beyond poker, offering lessons that are applicable in various contexts. By embracing the challenges and opportunities that Ace-King presents, players can enhance their skills and develop a deeper understanding of the game. This journey of mastery is one of growth and discovery, where each hand offers new insights and opportunities for improvement. Through the lens of Ace-King, players learn to navigate the complexities of poker with confidence and clarity, ultimately becoming more skilled and resilient competitors.